San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Thursday to everybody out there in America's finest city. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We are the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We're on every day from 10 to 2. And we only have 2 shows left of the year. We got today and we got tomorrow. That's it. That's all we got today and tomorrow. And then we are breaking for the new year, for 2026, and what might be in store for 2026. And, you know, a lot of people and a lot of shows, and it's not like just the morning show, but just every show like to do like a year in review. I don't really like doing that too much. We could probably do a year in review, but we got a lot going on today in sports. I enjoyed listening to the morning show's year in review. I gotta go back and go through some memories, but like, you know, like when NBC on television does it, and they go through all like the tragedies and all the good spots. It's just, you go through all the sports moments. It's too much for me sometimes. I just want to get through the regular day. So we're doing a normal show today. We will have Eddie Brown on at 1:35. We will have Skylar on at 12:30. Eric Williams will join us to talk about the big game tonight, which will be on 97.3 The Fan. It's a huge Thursday night football game tonight between the Seahawks and the Rams. We're going to talk about that later on with Eric Williams. Big article today on an update for the Hot Stove on ESPN. Jeff Passan and linking the Padres to a couple of different, not necessarily players, but groups that could be targeted for the offseason. And why things are getting backed up a little bit when it comes to trades, when it comes to free agency. We're going to talk about that in the next segment. We're going to talk NFL later on in the show. I mean, obviously the playoff races are coming down to the wire. ESPN simulated what they think is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a Chargers fan, you're going to be upset with that. They don't think the Chargers are going to finish very strong. I don't think so either. Their schedule's very difficult. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But here's what I did want to start the show with. It was last night's Aztecs game. Now, we don't get too many opportunities to talk in this portion of the year on a daily basis, local sports teams in game action. We just don't. San Diego State doesn't play all the time. They're going to play twice a week here as they continue conference play. They get their first conference game in against Air Force. And I don't know, man. I just, everybody continues to say, like, wait for conference play. Like, they still got to figure it out. They have time to figure it out. But even though they won 81-58 last night, I mean, we talked about Air Force, and we went over Mark Ziegler's article. And when I was driving home yesterday, the afternoon show went over Mark Ziegler's article about Air Force. And Chris kept saying, like, this isn't going to be a feel bad for Air Force segment, which I don't think it should have been the case either. I mean, it is unfair, but this is not everybody's got to deal with their own problems. But you look at an Air Force team that doesn't have NIL, they can't go in the transfer portal. They have all these rules as a military academy that they have to abide by because they're federal employees as students at Air Force. And it's not like Division I athletics is not designed for them. They're not part of that 1% that it's designed for. San Diego State isn't either, but San Diego State has NIL money and they get to keep players. They do a good job of keeping players because they can pay NIL and they do well in the transfer portal and they've been able to develop and then keep their guys. Air Force just kind of develops for everybody else. And so we spent a lot of time on that. I mean, it's very, I don't want to use the term unfair, but it's really like they're facing an uphill climb to compete in college basketball. They've won like I think like 3 conference games the last couple of years. Like they have not been good since they implemented NIL. So that's the context with Air Force. Now here's the deal. They went out there and really punched San Diego State in the mouth in the first half. And San Diego State like really didn't do anything in the first half, and they needed kind of a second half resurgence. And you look at some of the starters. I mean, you got a team that got Magoon back and Reese Dixon Waters back and Miles Bird back. And your leading scorer out of the starters last night, well, I guess, Guath had 12 points too, but like Miles Heide, good for Miles Heide going 5 for 7 from the field, and he had a 3-pointer, but he was kind of carrying the team early in that game. I mean, you look at the starters. Reese Dixon Waters is expected to be the high-scoring player on this team. He was 1 for 8 last night. The other high scorer on the team is supposed to be Miles Bird. He also went 1 for 8 last night. Both finished with 2 points. LZ Harrington, the freshman, still trying to figure things out at the college level. He had 6 points. He was 2 for 7 from the field. But thank God for BJ Davis. BJ's had a pretty good season. BJ's coming off the bench again. BJ played the most minutes out of anybody on this Aztecs roster, and that was all coming off the bench. He had 27 minutes last night. Scored 19 points, was 6 for 11 from the field, was 4 for 6 from 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. He really carried that team for San Diego State last night against Air Force, a team that they should have dominated. Now, the final score says they dominated, but reality, when you watch most of that game, they are playing some very uninspiring basketball. Very disappointing basketball for a team that was expected to be one of the top programs, not only in the Mountain West Conference, but in the NCAA. And right now, they're looking at a situation where they kind of better win the Mountain West Conference tournament if they want to get into the NCAA tournament with the way the Mountain West has been playing out. Like, you're hoping they can finish top 4 in the Mountain West Conference. I think they can, but I think this team is very similar to the team that had I'm blanking on his name. I want to call him Trey White, but not. It's the team that had Trey from Saints and that team that was very talented but yet incredibly disappointing. They had to win the Mountain West tournament to make the NCAA tournament, and they shouldn't have had put themselves in that particular situation. This team is kind of trending in that direction. It's a team on paper that was expected to be a shoo-in for the NCAA tournament. Instead, they just, as Juan Ruiz put in the chat, just uninspiring basketball. So they got the win. That's the important part. At the end of the day, if you want to play uninspiring basketball and still win by more than 20 points, you'll take that any day of the week. And overall, they shot 50% from the field. They shot 45% from the 3-point line. I mean, from beyond the arc. Those are all numbers that are going to win you games against anybody in college basketball. Those are all good numbers. They out-rebounded Air Force, which was great. They had less turnovers than Air Force, which was great. They also benefited on points off turnovers, outscoring Air Force 19-10. They dominated the points in the paint, 38-22. Those are all the things that needed to be done against a team like Air Force. Yet, it's just the way that they played during those minutes is a little area of concern. They need to be able to figure that out if they want to be an NCAA tournament team. And not only be an NCAA tournament team, but they definitely got to figure it out if they want to advance in the NCAA tournament instead of playing in a first 4 game and losing to North Carolina. I mean, they got blown out by North Carolina in that game. And I think they're better than that. And I think Brian Dutcher's got to get them going. You're starting to see a little bit of the defense. But again, as Mark Ziegler's laid out in many articles about this Aztecs basketball team, yes, the defense needs to play a lot better to what the standards are at San Diego State, but at the same time, when you're just outscoring everybody and you're shooting 50-something% from the field, good things are going to happen. So there's some bright spots in last night's game for the Aztecs. There was a lot of negatives of last night's game for the Aztecs. And you know what? It turns around quickly, and you got to take on arguably the best team in the country in the Arizona Wildcats. Arizona's number 1 in the AP poll. Arizona's number 1 right now in ESPN's power rankings. I mean, Braden Burries, who spells his name wrong, he spells it with a Y. I mean, he's been legit. After averaging 7.8 points in his first 5 games, he is now averaging 19.8 points per game over his past 5 contests. I mean, Braden Burries is somebody they're going to have to worry about big time on Saturday. And this is a big game for Arizona, too, because you look at the remaining schedule of non-conference. They got schools like Bethune-Cookman coming up and other schools that they're going to be able to absolutely trounce at the McHale Center. Neutral site game. I'm going to put that in quotations. Neutral site game against Arizona and Phoenix. And this is an Arizona team that has scored at least 1.26 points per possession all 5 of their games that they have had. Braden Burries averaging 19.8 points per contest or in his last 5 contests. That's a stretch that included a 28-point outing against Alabama, in which Burries made 5 3-pointers, and they destroyed Alabama in Birmingham. They have also made at least 6 threes in 3 straight games after doing it just 4 times in the first 7. The team can shoot. They're all over the place. They're just a machine. San Diego State being able to, if they were able to beat Arizona on Saturday, you could almost punch your ticket to the NCAA tournament as long as you finish in the top 4 in the Mountain West. They got to keep that game close on Saturday. But overall, watching San Diego State basketball last night, very uninspiring basketball, but they got the job done. They got to get Miles Bird going. They got to get Reese Dixon Waters going. They got to get more production out of their starters and not have the bench bail them out. But I'll tell you what, it's a good problem to have when you have a good depth like San Diego State. They got a lot of players that can play and contribute to this team, and you've seen it with the bench points all season long. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, after talking about Aztec basketball and their deal that they're going to have to deal with Arizona on Saturday, Jeff Passan had an interesting article today giving out more information about some rumors around Major League Baseball. The Padres were mentioned. What were they mentioned with? Who? What areas are they looking at? We'll tell you what Jeff Passan had to say about the Padres when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. This hour 97 through the fans brought to you by Mission Fed. From first accounts to big life moments, Mission Fed can help. Savings shouldn't be stressful. Mission Fed makes it easier with great rates on savings, certificates, and ultra money market accounts. Grow your money the smart way. Check the latest rates and open an account at missionfed.com. Membership and account criteria apply. All right. Let's talk about this Padre stuff. Here's the deal. Here's what Jeff Passan had today. Now, Jeff Passan lays out a couple of things in his what it is labeled as, and they never write their own headlines, yada yada. Passan's MLB free agency, trade intel on Tucker Bregman, and more. It's kind of an update on what he is hearing, as well as the other insiders for ESPN about the offseason for a lot of teams. Now, the market right now, would you consider the market to be slow or fast moving, Frank?
Glacial.
Okay, glacial slow. Now, here's the deal. It's a little bit slower, but it's not, would you consider it a cheap market? No.
Cheap in relation to what? Buying a plane?
As in the owners in baseball teams are being cheap with they're holding back and they're waiting for better deals and they're not spending money.
I mean, that's true in some cases. I wouldn't say that's the overarching truth. I think it's the players trying to get as much money as they can.
Last season, at this point in time, there was already $2.1 billion spent. This season, just under $1.4 billion have been spent. It's a massive slowdown that does look on the appearance, Frank, it looks conservative. But You have to remember who signed last year in December for $765 million. Juan Soto. There's not a Juan Soto guy available. So, a lot of that money is inflated from last year at this point with the Juan Soto deal of $765 million. So, the money hasn't disappeared like a lot of players probably say it has. It's being very selective, very pitching heavy, and very strategic. And that matters a lot, obviously, for the Padres. What it means for the Padres right now, on a couple of things, pitching is driving the market, and the Padres are right in the mix. So this offseason has emphasized pitching because quality hitters are scarce, teams want depth, not just stars, and everybody wants 6+ MLB-ready starters. Well, there's not a lot of those guys to go around. What is interesting to me is listed in this is, and Jeff Passan lists teams per tiers of who's involved. He's got top-of-the-market bats. He's got top-tier starting pitching. He's got mid-tier starting pitching. He's got Japanese free agents. He's got all non-elite bats. He's got the trade market, and he's got relief pitching. And at the bottom of all of these, he lists what teams are active in these areas. Now, I find one particular phrase to be very surprising to me. Here's the one that is not surprising to me. When talking about mid-tier pitching, Jeff Passan said, depending on prices, truly every team could target this tier. Among those who have been most aggressive in mid-tier pursuit, according to sources, the White Sox, Orioles, Angels, Nationals, Mets, Padres, and Diamondbacks. That's not too surprising, Frank, right?
No.
What's surprising maybe is the fact that the Padres are in reality, what's surprising to me is how much money some of those guys are getting.
Yes.
That is what's surprising. It's not surprising that the Padres, who are in the market for starting pitching, would be filing through the mid-tier starting pitching market. Now, the surprising thing is that a lot of those guys might be getting close to $20 million, which might be out of the price range, which all of a sudden seems like they are high-level starting pitching. But right now, sounds like it's not too crazy. It's not too crazy. Now, the part that's very eye-opening to me is this particular phrase. It's talking about top-tier starting pitchers. And here's what it says. Much of the same applies to frontline pitchers as it does hitters when he talked about the top hitters of the group. The Baltimore Orioles have eyed a top starter since free agency opened. Makes sense. They have money to spend. they're not spending a lot of money right now. They have a lot of young core guys. They need starting pitching. They can afford to go buy a pitcher. Mets gladly will spend on one if the years are short. Mets have a ton of money. They need starting pitching. Astros are in the mix. Yankees are dabbling. Los Angeles Angels remain part of the conversation. The Cubs could still use an arm. And the San Diego Padres are involved as ever. Here's the list that Jeff Passan laid out as top-tier starting pitchers. Framber Valdez, Tetsuya Imai, Ranger Suarez, Michael King, Zach Gallen. Those guys. That's the top-tier starting pitchers. Those are like the guys getting $25 to $35 million a year. You would think that'd be out of the Padres' price range, but the quote from, and I trust Jeff Passan, out of all of the insiders, I think it's hard to say that you would trust anybody more than Jeff Passan, right?
That's fair.
He's probably the most trustworthy because he doesn't report anything until it actually happens or is basically a done deal.
Wait, you mean like a journalist should?
Correct.
Instead of worrying about being first to market?
Correct.
Wow, what a concept.
Correct. So, he says the Padres are involved as ever. I think you could break that down a lot of different ways. They could be kicking the tires. They could be, making offers. But it sounds like they're very much involved with the top-tier starting pitchers. That doesn't coincide with what their budget might be. Maybe that's what's holding things up, too, on this market is the trade market. Because the Padres, if they only have like $20 to $25 million to spend, and everybody's just kind of guessing. Nobody has any real idea how much money they have to spend. That's one player right there. And you can't even afford most of these guys with just a $25 million budget. And you still got to get a bat. You still got to get more than just one starting pitcher. Very interesting quote from Jeff Passan's article. You'd be not that surprised that Padres would be on a mid-tier pitching, but you would be surprised in the top-tier pitching. Could they be talking to Michael King? Could they be talking to one of the top arms in Valdez or Suarez? Are they doing the international approach with Tetsuya Imai? Are they talking to Zach Gallen? I mean, these are all names that were listed in the top-tier starting pitching market. So they're actively involved in the top-tier starters. They're actively involved in the mid-tier rotation arms. They have been listed in this group for relief pitching, just like everybody else has. There's like over 100 relievers available, and it's a cheaper path. Most of the closers have already been signed. But what they're actively involved with lines up with their recent identity, Petco Park advantage, need to stabilize the rotation behind their front end arms, which is basically just one arm and Nick Pivetta. A lot of the top-end hitters are still waiting. This doesn't involve the Padres, but as mentioned by Jeff Passan, and that's the opening biggest bats still unsigned, Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, Cody Bellinger, Bo Bichette. These players aren't really panicking, and neither should the Padres. The market is thin. Contenders still need offense. Someone will blink. And to be honest, if you're the Padres and you're looking for a bat, those are not one of the bats that you are looking for, but you are looking for those guys to start signing and getting off the board so you could start making your own moves. And it depends. And here's the thing. Like, a lot of these teams are saying that they're being patient. Like, the Yankees have been patient. The Red Sox have been patient. The Mets have been patient. How patient is A.J. Preller willing to be? While a lot of the big spending teams, or the teams expected to be big spenders, haven't really moved yet either. The mid-tier starting pitching is exploding. This is the Padres' territory to make a lot of moves. And we've seen the players that have gone off the board. Merrill Kelly signed 2 years, $40 million. Dustin May signed 1 year, $12.5 million. Adrian Hauser, 2 years, $22 million. Cody Ponce, who comes back from Korea, signed a 3-year, $30 million deal. And it shows you that even safe starters are getting these big guaranteed contracts, which means, are they really mid-tier pitching or are they top-end pitching? Teams are paying for insurance and innings. Who are these other available arms that the Padres could be getting or could be looking into as a mid-tier starting pitcher? I'll tell you the list, and I'll tell you who I like on the list when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan.
The biggest guests in San Diego sports talk appear on 97.3 The Fan.
Current friend Joe Musgrove is with us in the booth, and Joe, really appreciate you taking the time and effort to come up here. And the most important question I think Padre fans want to know, Joe, is just how you feeling? How you doing?
Yeah, I feel great. Excited to be up here. First off, really enjoy listening to you guys on the radio and reading the shows you guys do throughout the course of the season. Really enjoy it. So it's nice to sit up here and chat.
Thanks for listening to San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first...
Wait, what the hell is this? We got Aztec tickets to give away. Coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, we're getting away Aztec tickets to their game on Monday at Viejas Arena. They will take on Whittier. Weren't you complaining about like how many days off they had in between?
Yes.
Now they're playing Wednesday, Saturday, Monday.
Good. Get them rolling. They're only a couple games behind.
Get them rolling is right.
Oh, boy.
We'll be giving away tickets to that in the 1 o'clock hour. If you want to get your own tickets to that game. And the tickets are readily available for these games. It's like the Christmas break time. So you have areas to sit when they play the Whittier Poets. You can go to goaztecs.com to get tickets to that. We're giving away tickets on Friday as well to their other home game. Again, because we're going to be on break for the next couple of weeks. Should be a fun couple of rest and relaxation for a lot of these deals. So I do want to get to your phone calls today, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We're going to get to your calls. We're also going to dive into some of this mid-tier starting pitching with Major League Baseball. So let's get out to our first caller of the day, Kevin in Chula Vista. Kevin, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
Hey, thanks, Braden, and thanks for covering the Aztecs. And I agree with you. It was a rather uninspired start last night, that's for sure. And I think, you know, where this program is right now they don't have a solid shooting group. There's no bona fide drain at 3-point guy that they can go to that's hot night after night. That's non-existent. And actually it's been non-existent for a few years now. They ought to be starting BJ Davis, in my opinion, even though he's a great off the bench sixth man. But they need the leadership from BJ. He's far too effective and necessary to be sitting on the bench waiting to come in. They need a lot of help up front. Whatever's going on with Guath, whether it's the injury or what, there's far too much easy buckets coming through that lane that there's basically no opposition to coming in. Occasionally you get it from Heidi, but for the most part, that inside of the Aztecs is soft. The last thing is they don't have lockdown defense anymore. They just don't. And it hasn't shown itself now for quite some time. There's too much playground stuff going on with this team. This is the way Dutcher and Fisher coached. I get it. But at some point, you've got to put some structure into a team that needs it. And this team lacks basic fundamental structures. If you don't hit the threes, then you damn well better move your shots in. And for God's sakes, Braden, one of the first basic coaching things that you do as a head coach or any type of basketball, you tell your players, you shoot the ball and you follow it in case you miss. Too many times we see Aztec players bombs away, and away they go running back down the court thinking they've drained it. That's got to stop too if these guys have got any hope for advancing in the future here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Kevin, I appreciate the phone call, and I saw a lot of the conversations on social media last night about the Aztecs. I mean, and Tom in the on YouTube says it The best players suck right now. And that's what a lot of fans are saying. They're not playing up to what their full potential is, and it's just taking care of the little things. We haven't seen this Aztec team do that all season long when it comes to being able to, as Kevin said, like follow your shot and just do the little things throughout. And a lot of the times where San Diego State has lost to better teams, it has been the little things. It has been the little things that have outdone San Diego State. And that's where they got to improve. They got to be able to take care of some of those little things on the offensive end, on the defensive end, and hopefully be able to make a run in the Mountain West. It starts on Saturday. I mean, in a couple of days now, on Saturday, San Diego State taking on Arizona is a huge game for the Aztecs. They got to keep that game close. They got to keep that game low possession. They cannot let Arizona jump out to a massive lead, and they got to play a lot better defense. Got to play a lot better defense. It's not up to they're playing better offense than they have in the past, but the defense has suffered for it. And I think they're going to be able to figure it out. And once they start getting the defense moving, then it's going to be a lot better for San Diego State. Big tester on Saturday night against Arizona. We'll talk more about that on tomorrow's show. Let's talk about some of the other things with this Jeff Passan deal, okay? It's like mid-tier starting pitching is where the Padres, most notably, are attached to no one's surprise, right? I mean, the Padres are going to try to find some players like a Nick Pivetta from last year. They're going to have to trade for a guy like Seth Lugo, right? They got to sign a Michael Wacha. You'll get a John Garland from back in the day. I mean, these are the types of pitchers that the Padres need to use to fill out the rotation. So it's no surprise that they're linked to some mid-tier, what's quoted as mid-tier starting pitching. Now, in that mid-tier starting pitching, you've already seen some players sign. We've already talked about this in the last segment. Merrill Kelly, at age 37, signed a 2-year, $40 million deal. Dustin May signed a 1-year, $12.5 million deal. He's a player that might be available at the trade deadline because he signed with St. Louis, and St. Louis isn't expected to be very competitive this year. I mean, they could have signed Dustin May as a reclamation project of it's not going to cost us a lot, fills out our rotation. If he does well, we can trade him for prospects. It's a big reason why the Twins signed Josh Bell, in my opinion. I mean, Ken Rosenthal could say what he wants about how the Twins are competing this year. Give me a break. Not competing this year. They announced it last year when they traded everybody away at the trade deadline that they're not competing this year. So, Dustin May could be available via trade later, but he's already been signed. He's signed for $12.5 million. Adrian Hauser signed 2 years, $22 million. That's $11 million a year. Cody Ponce signed for 3 years, $30 million. I mean, this is in the range where the Padres could probably get a couple of guys, but they're going to have to trade away some money to free up to pay for starting pitching if they're not going to trade for starting pitching. And I think that's where it holds up the Padres right now when it comes to making moves and putting things together. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that the top end hasn't moved yet. I think a lot of teams are being patient right now and seeing how the market plays out, and things kind of slow down a little bit during the Christmas holiday. Not too much, though. There's been a handful of signings that have happened in the past around the Christmas break, if you will. But here are some other pitchers that are available that fit the Padres' needs. I'd love to see Nick Martinez back in a Padres uniform. And I think it would cost you probably less than what is going out for mid-tier pitching right now. I don't think it's going to cost you $20 million a year for Nick Martinez. I know he made that kind of money in his last contract. I don't think it's going to have to get to that point. I don't think there's a lot of suitors for a guy like Nick Martinez at $20 million. Maybe there are. I just don't see it being the case. I think he's an affordable arm that you could bring back that could do a couple of things. He could be in the starting rotation. He can come off. He can work off of the bullpen. He could do both of those things. I like him. Walker Buehler's interesting to me. He has been bad in his last couple of seasons. He would have to be a massive reclamation project to use Walker Buehler. But if his price is right, I don't mind taking a chance on him. These are the type of players you're going to take a chance on. We talked about Dustin May, and I think we've talked ourselves into a guy like Dustin May potentially being a fit, and then he goes to St. Louis. But these are the type of players that you're going to have to take a chance on. Nick Martinez, Walker Buehler. Like Zach Littell's all right. I think that'd be a decent pickup. I don't know about Armand Marquez at his age now. I mean, he's still in his younger 30s. He hasn't reached that mid-30 part, but he didn't do very well in his last couple of years in Colorado, but he's pitching in Colorado. I mean, you could try to make a short-term bet on Scherzer or Verlander. I would try to stay away at guys that are in their 40s. But these are the type of players that might be available that fit the Padres' needs. I'd love to see Nick Martinez back in a Padres uniform. I really would. Padres are explicitly listed among those most aggressive teams in that tier, as well as the top-end starting pitching tier. I don't know how they're going to be able to pull that off, but Jeff Passan is reporting in his article that the Padres are as active as ever. And I'll get you the direct quote because it's important. They're involved as ever in the top-tier starting pitching market. Another angle the Padres can go, and this is also listed in the article by Jeff Passan, the Japanese market. Tatsuya Imai, 99-mile-an-hour fastball, electric. Posting window closes on January 2nd. You got a limited amount of time left to negotiate a deal with him. And then these players that are posted on here that have these windows, they like to take up as much of that time as possible to, it's more of a recruiting trip than anything else. It's more like college recruiting than it is just signing free agents. But Imai is available as one of the pitchers, and that's another angle the Padres can be involved with. Now, Imai not only was listed as part of the Japanese market piece of this article, he's also listed in the top-tier starting pitchers, and maybe that is the name that links the Padres to the top-tier pitching. A guy like Tatsuya Imai. A couple bats in there as well. Like, I don't think the Padres are going to be at the front end of the bats. But Imai in particular could be the best remaining frontline starter if the Padres decide to go that way. And could be affordable based on the market. And we've seen some of these Japanese pitchers sign when they get posted from Japan. A lot of the bullpen guys got paid, including a familiar name like Robert Suarez, 3 years, $45 million. The bullpen arms have been the biggest winners so far this offseason when it comes to positions. I mean, relief pitchers are getting paid handsomely. I mean, they knew that elite relievers are going to be a premium. And we'll see what the Padres decide to do with the bullpen. I think they got enough pieces in the bullpen, and there's a lot of arms out there that can fill the lower spots in that bullpen, where the back end could be preserved for guys like Mason Miller and Adrian Morejon. And maybe you part ways with one of those guys to try to free up some money somewhere else or to try to bring in more talent. But as you start to talk about the trades, Jeff Passan lays out in his article about how the market for trades is frozen, and it's because that teams are all kind of dangling carrots right now. If you look at the trade market last year at this time, Garrett Crochet, Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, Andres Jimenez had all been traded. A couple weeks after this particular part of the year last year, Josh Naylor and Jesus Luzardo would move too. And this winter, the biggest names who have been dealt so far have been Brandon Nimmo and Marcus Semien. And that was a deal that was a one-for-one swap. What looked like at the winter meetings, what was going to be a plethora of trade possibilities this winter has turned into a complete slog. And you start to listen to some of the players that are available for trades. Ketel Marte, Jarren Duran, Freddie Peralta, Mackenzie Gore, Brendan Donovan, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Brandon Lau, C.J. Abrams, Wills Contreras, Luis Robert Jr., and even those not necessarily listed, but guys like Tarek Skubal have been out there as well. A lot of those players definitely excite a lot of teams. But there's gridlock. And why is there gridlock? Well, Jeff Passan lays out that it's understandable because a lot of those players with years of control, the teams that hold those assets have all of the cards. The Diamondbacks want a huge return for Ketel Marte. He's a major league ready talent. And they want major league ready talent in return. Plus, they want some minor league help. The Red Sox want value for Duran. He's under control for a couple more years, and he's affordable. Even though their outfield is loaded with guys like Masataka Yoshida, they can hang on to Duran a little bit longer until they get what they want. Washington, same thing. They can hold on to Mackenzie Gore and C.J. Abrams for another year if they wanted to before they had to make a decision on trading either of those players. Freddie Peralta doesn't need to go anywhere for a team that's competing for a World Series like the Milwaukee Brewers. And as reported by Jeff Passan, while most executives believe that Brandon Donovan of the St. Louis Cardinals will get moved, the Cardinals have set specific terms for him to have no desire to waiver. So there's got to be trades that happen. I think it's just going to take a little bit of time because I think a lot of things need to line up. And right now, the easiest thing that you can sign in the hottest market are the relief pitching. The relief pitching is where the biggest movers have been making. That's where the biggest moves have been made so far. We've had a couple of bats go off the board, but still a lot of top bats available. And I think a lot of the teams right now are staying patient and waiting for a good deal. I think a lot of teams that have assets to trade are being patient and waiting for the right deal. So now to relate it back to the Padres, this is what it translates to. As much as you would want to see the Padres make a move immediately, make a move right now, make a move as soon as possible, they have to be patient. It's another season, another offseason where A.J. Preller has to be very creative with how he approaches this. And if you start thinking how these all affect each other, if you're worried about if you're looking at guys to sign in the starting pitching market, and you know that the mid-tier relievers or mid-tier starters are going to be making anywhere between 10 to like $16, $17 million a year, and you only got $20 to $25 million a year to spend, and you got to try to get a couple of starting pitchers and a bat, you're going to have to free up some payroll. And by doing that, you're going to have to make some trades. Now, a lot of these trades take some time. And based on some of the reports from Kevin Acee during the winter meetings, it sounded like they had a lot of stuff in play. And they were conversing with a lot of different teams. That takes time to put a lot of those deals together. And if you're trying to spend money in free agency on starting pitching, and you need to make trades before that happens, you're kind of at a screeching halt waiting for some of these things to happen. If you, again, are thinking about potentially signing a mid-tier bat, like a Ryan O'Hearn, who's probably he's probably going, wherever he signs, is going to be a starting first baseman. You kind of have to wait for some of the big guys to sign. A couple of them did, but not all of them. You're going to have to wait for Kyle Tucker to sign. And then you could start playing off of the Ryan O'Hearns, the Luis Arraez, Rhys Hoskins, Paul Goldschmidt, guys like Willie Castro, Luis Rengifo, Yohan Moncada. I mean, those are the players that are going to sign after the big guys sign, and those are usually really late. So as much as you're on the edge of your seat waiting for a Padres move and waiting for another Padres rumor, a lot of this stuff takes time. And right now, with the way the market is, a lot of teams are being patient. Not a lot of them are very, very trigger happy in decision making. And I think that's going to lead to not only a slower market, but I think it's going to lead to probably more deals being signed in the new year. I mean, there might be a couple during this next 2 weeks. Like if a guy like Kyle Tucker decides he wants to sign and he's ready to go somewhere and he signs, all of a sudden you could start seeing Bregman and Bellinger and Bo Bichette flying off the board. That might expedite the process a little bit. But overall, my biggest takeaway from this article and the interesting thing and something to keep an eye on, Padres market for top starting pitching. Because as Jeff Passan laid out, when talking about the top-tier starting pitching of Framber Valdez and Tatsuya Imai and Ranger Suarez and Michael King and Zach Gallen, all guys that are listed as top-tier starting pitchers, where the market's been chilly, Jeff Passan lays out that it's about to warm up. He lists teams that are involved, the Orioles, the Astros, the Angels, the Cubs, Yankees, Mets, and finishes that spot with, and the San Diego Padres are involved as ever. That's an interesting new twist to what we've been expecting from the Padres. There's a new twist to what could be happening with the Padres, something that is, to me, surprising based on what we've heard from local entities, what we've heard on the rumor mill, and what we've learned about what the budget might be for the Padres in 2026. Maybe that's a special Christmas gift to everybody next week. Top-level pitcher for the Padres. Be very interesting to see. We'll talk more about that later on when we come back, get you a look at the latest on the hot stove as we get an hour or two on the Braden Surprenant Show. Stay with us on Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Well, the 11 o'clock hour is always designed for the latest rumors for Major League Baseball. We do this every day, right? We do this every day. And I know that is appointment listening because I just teased it knowing that Eric Williams was joining us next and not us talking about Major League Baseball. So we are pivoting, and I teased the wrong thing. We're going to talk about the latest rumors of Major League Baseball when we come back. But we have a big game tonight that's going to be on 97 through the Fan. It's probably, as we talked about yesterday with Frank Schwab, it could be the biggest game remaining in the NFL season. And joining us to talk about that game and the final couple of weeks of the NFL season is NFL reporter from Fox Sports, Eric D. Williams, who joins us on the Braden Surprenant Show. Eric, what's going on? Long time no talk. How are things been?
Things are great. Thanks for having me. It has been a while, and I appreciate you bringing me back.
Yeah, I'd love to have you on and talking some NFL. And obviously with, Padres doing a lot during the season, during the off season, it's always great to get some NFL talk mixed in there. So let's talk about this game. We've seen a lot of reports about this could be the biggest game left in the next 3 weeks of the NFL season. There's a lot of big games remaining that involve division races, number one seeds, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But when you're talking about this game, this rivalry game on a Thursday night, this could be not only one of the best Thursday night games we have seen, but also, as mentioned before, probably the best game left on the NFL schedule.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about the matchup first. The first game in SoFi came down to the wire. Jason Myers is actually from San Diego, missed a 61-yarder that could have won it for the Seahawks, which was pretty crazy because of the way that Sam Darnold had played in that game. With 4 interceptions, you would have thought that the Rams would have blown them out, but because of that Seahawks defense, the game was much closer. And so now, fast forward to 5 weeks later, this game is going to be up in Seattle at Lumen Field. And it's a game that, I was up there a couple weeks ago when the Seahawks played Minnesota, talked to several players. This is a game that they've kind of marked on their calendar as a game that they feel they can get a little bit of revenge against the Rams. They actually felt like they should have won the previous matchup. Talked to Jared Verse in the locker room after their victory over the Lions. He said that Seahawks are the team that they dislike the most. So there's a little bit of rivalry between these two teams. Expect a good game, tonight up in Seattle. Doesn't look like Devontae Adams is going to play, so that obviously is going to affect the Rams offensively. But they have a lot more playmakers for Matthew Stafford to get the ball to. So I still expect them to be able to score. For me, it's going to come down to Seattle's offense against the Rams defense and how Darnold plays in this game. Is he able to take care of the football, be efficient, lead that offense, and kind of match score for score with what Stafford's going to do offensively? Backing out a little bit, you mentioned it. I think it's one of the biggest games of the year because of the playoff implications. If Seattle is able to win this game, they're now the top team in the NFC West and the top seed in the NFC, and it puts the San Francisco 49ers in play to earn that number one seed as well. They're just a game behind these two teams, and Seattle and San Francisco still play down in San Francisco, so that gives the Niners an opportunity, if Seattle wins this game, to win not only NFC West, but the number one seed in the NFC as well.
Let's talk about the Rams playing against the Seahawks in just a sense of under Sean McVay and playing at Lumen Field. I mean, the Rams have had a lot of success. They've been quietly very good at Lumen Field under Sean McVay. Mm-hmm. McVay's 12-6 against the Seahawks, including a playoff win. What has been about this organization under Sean McVay that has been able to handle hostile environments and been able to handle a team in Seattle that has been, very good over the last decade plus?
I think it's just consistency. I think with Sean McVay, you kind of know how they're going to come out week in, week out. So I would start with that. His ability to get guys motivated on a weekly basis and get them up for big games, I think is one of the best in the league. And so that's why he's had a lot of success against this organization in particular. And then I think you also have to look at the quarterback position, the way that Stafford is playing. He's playing at an MVP level. And so when you have great quarterback play from an offensive standpoint, from a guy that's the offensive play caller, I think that gives you a great chance to win in these big gotta-have-it moments, particularly on the road where, you know, the 12th man's going to be loud. You have to execute in terms of silent count in that environment. So I think Sean is great at preparing his team for games like this.
Let's bounce around the rest of the NFL, Eric. And we're talking with Eric D. Williams, who writes for FoxSports.com. He covers the NFL. He's an NFL reporter for Fox. And I got to ask this. I mean, one of the biggest stories in the NFL right now is Phillip Rivers returning at age 44. Mm-hmm. You had time here in San Diego where you covered Phillip Rivers. You know, you obviously been around the locker room with him a decent amount of time. When you heard the news that he was coming back, what was your initial reaction? And you know, what is your opinion on Phillip Rivers trying to play at age 44?
Yeah, you know, covered the Chargers for 6 seasons, both in San Diego and Los Angeles. Been around Phillip a lot. You know, Phillip likes playing football. I mean, he's a high school football coach, obviously coaching his oldest son, Gunnar, who's now a junior, and has some Division I opportunities, you know, because of the way that he's played. So I think first and foremost, Phillip saw the opportunity to come back and play. I think he always wanted to play. I think, you know, there was speculation out there he was going to come back a couple years ago when the Niners potentially would have needed a quarterback when Brock Purdy was hurt in the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. So I think that has always been something that Phillip would potentially want to do in the right situation. Obviously, the Colts are the right situation because there's a relationship with Shane Steichen and because of how well he knows that offense. Going back to his days with Norv Turner, Steichen is close to Norv and learned a lot of offense from him. So the offense is similar. So Phillip could kind of go right in there and run it. I think in terms of how he played, I mean, it really looked like how he played 5 years ago, to be honest. I mean, the ball came out quick. He had command of the offense. Certainly he couldn't push the ball down the field like he did 5 years ago, which is to be expected with him being 44 years old. But the fact that he gave that team a chance to win the game at the end on the road against one of the best teams in the league was impressive. You know, talking to people around the league, they were surprised at how well he performed. Now he has a week of practice. He's going to be playing at home against San Francisco. I think one of the things going into this game is playing against Robert Salah and the kind of defense that they run. That's a defense that Phillip has had a lot of success against in years past because they're so static pre-snap. Phillip's going to know where he wants to go with the ball, and he's going to get the ball out quick again. And I expect him to create some more explosive plays because of that.
Let's talk about the Colts for a second, just in general. I mean, you know, Phillip Rivers coming back. It's kind of a pipe dream right now to try to get the Colts to the playoffs. They got a very difficult schedule. They got the Niners on Monday night, then they got the Jags, who are right there in the division, and then they finished the season with the Texans, and their defense has been legit all season long. Those are 3 tough games. They could still make the playoffs at 2-1 during those 3, but they're going to need some help. I mean, it's going to be tough. You know, do you think the Colts make the playoffs?
Probably not, but I'm here to watch every game because Phillip is playing. So
that's right.
it's going to be entertaining nonetheless. I mean, I was at the Rams-Lions game covering that game, but on my computer I had, you know, the Colts and the Seahawks going on at the same time. I was kind of watching every offensive play just to see how Phillip would perform. And I know many people around the country were doing the same thing. So the last 3 weeks are going to be must-see TV in terms of just seeing how Phillip is going to do each week and see how much better he gets each week. You're right. It's 3 of the top 10 defenses in terms of points scored that he's going to go against over these final 3 weeks. They're a game back, I believe, in the playoffs. But the fact that they still have a shot and Phillip could be a person that leads them to the playoffs, even though it's an uphill climb, I think is worth covering and worth watching over the last 3 weeks.
One of the teams that's already been eliminated from the postseason is the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys did an article, a combined article with a lot of reporters about, you know, what's the Chiefs' problem and where have they been at? You've asked some scouts about it as well. Why did the Chiefs not make the playoffs in 2025 aside from their record, right? And what are some of the avenues that you've heard or that you think should be addressed for them to fix?
It was a couple different things in talking to scouts and NFL executives around the league. I think the first thing is people around them got better. You know, You brought in Sean Payton, you brought in Jim Harbaugh, two legit, head coaches that have had a lot of success, both, when you talk about Harbaugh, college and pro. And so they, developed championship type programs within the division, which made it harder for Kansas City to win that division year in and year out. And I think you saw that with, the Broncos looking like they're going to win that division, which would be a different team for the first time in a decade if they're able to hold off the Chargers. So I think that's part of it, talking to people around the league. I think the other thing is the talent level around Mahomes. I think you saw Mahomes run a lot more this year than in years past. They don't really have playmakers on offense that defenses fear around the league. Obviously, it used to be Travis Kelce. It was Tyreek Hill when he was there. But now when you look at guys like Rashee Rice or Worthy, offenses aren't necessarily like, we got to take away that guy in order to stop the Chiefs. Their running back situation, whether it's Pacheco or Hunt, again, those are good running backs, but, it's not Saquon Barkley, or it's not Bijan Robinson, those kind of electric playmakers, Jahmyr Gibbs. So I think they need to do a better job of surrounding Patrick Mahomes with elite talent, kind of like what the Patriots did, kind of the second chapter of Brady's career, or if you look at what Brady had with the Bucks, and he was more of a distributor. I think Mahomes needs to kind of move forward with being more of a distributor and not the guy that carries the entire offense.
We're talking with Eric D. Williams, who is a writer for Fox Sports, covering the National Football League. He's an NFL reporter. A couple things left for you. We go from a team that didn't make the playoffs to now some teams in the NFL. And we discussed this earlier this week. There's not one true team that is just above everybody else. It seems like there's a lot of parity in this league. You guys discussed on Fox Sports about who's the best team potentially in the AFC. As you look at the AFC picture and the NFC picture, I mean, I think it's a tough debate to determine, at least in a power ranking sense, who are the best two teams in the National Football League right now.
Yeah, I think part of the reason it's hard is because the teams that are usually in there aren't probably going to be in the postseason. The Ravens have a lot of work to do if they want to win the AFC North. So Lamar Jackson might not be in the postseason, which is kind of crazy to think about. Joe Burrow has had his injury issues, and it looks like he's contemplating even if he wants to continue playing. The Bengals are not going to be in it. So you talk about these elite quarterbacks not being in it, and new teams like the Broncos, the Patriots, the Jaguars are playing pretty well. They're going to be in the AFC. And then the NFC, the Seahawks have had a nice season and are going to be a team that needs to be dealt with in the NFC. And then, you look at what's going on with the Eagles. Are they going to be able to earn a home playoff game and be able to defend their crown as the Super Bowl champs? So I think that's part of the reason why you're trying to figure out what are the real teams and what are maybe the quote unquote fake teams that aren't going to have a legitimate shot to win the Super Bowl. I think for me, before the season, I picked the Buffalo Bills to win it. I feel like Josh Allen is probably the best quarterback of the remaining quarterbacks that are going to, be in the postseason. And I feel like that's a team that can win, whether they're at home or on the road. And so for me, I still like, the Bills, even though their defense is a little sketchy, a little iffy, in terms of, stopping their opponents. But I feel like they have the best, player that's still going to be left in Allen.
Eric, we appreciate the time, as always, to come on and talk NFL with us. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to you and your family. Look forward to talking to you in 2026.
That sounds good. Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it. And have a good weekend.
Eric D. Williams, NFL reporter, joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Always great talking with him. But a lot of good stuff in the National Football League. Tonight's game's huge. Tonight's game is huge, Frank.
Yeah, it's a proper good game. I think it's probably the first proper good game that I can remember.
On a Thursday?
On Thursday Night Football. It's usually Thursday Night Football is left for like Jacksonville, Cleveland or something.
Well, yeah, a lot of the games are usually ass. But this game's good. This game's going to be...
This is a proper banger. A proper good game.
I mean, did you see the games on Netflix next week on Christmas Day?
No.
Cowboys, Commanders.
Oh, yeah.
Thumbs down. Lions, Vikings. Broncos, Chiefs. Broncos, Chiefs was probably great 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a good thought. Yeah.
Then you look at week 8. Then you don't have any more. This is the last Thursday game, to be honest with you. The Christmas Day games are not very good. Is there a Christmas Eve game? Did they put a game on Christmas
I
Eve?
don't know.
They did
plus, not. Plus, Christmas Day is the NBA's day.
Except for the fact that they did that last year and the NFL crushed them.
Yeah, I know. Which I'm sure that makes the NBA happy is all to just lose out on their day. But when I think of Christmas Day, I always think of that is the NBA's day.
Yeah.
It usually starts off with the Knicks and Celtics, and then it ends with the Lakers and Warriors usually.
I never watched the NBA on Christmas, but I know it's Christmas Day. I know it's their deal, and I did think it's like when you're a league like the NFL, and you can just flex your muscle whenever, and like, oh, we'll play games on there. Let's see what you guys do, and they crushed them last year.
Yeah,
absolutely crushed them.
And I always think of, like I said, Christmas Day is the NBA's day for professional sports, at least. New Year's Day is the NHL's day, usually with the Winter Classic. They always have a bunch of high-profile games on New Year's Day. And, of course, the NFL is just any given Sunday.
The NFL so if you don't have Netflix, you can listen to the games. So while you're driving around trying to do multiple Christmases in one day, as a lot of us try to do.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Driving around, you can listen right here on 97 through the Fan. We got Cowboys and Commanders at 10 in the morning as an NFL triple header on Thursday. So Christmas Day, 97 through the Fan is going to have all three of the games. Cowboys, Commanders, Lions, Vikings, Broncos, Chiefs.
You realize the turn you just made?
I didn't say the games are going to be that particularly good to watch on TV.
These games are awful. Listen to them on 97.
What else are you going to listen to? What else are you going to listen to? You know why?
Every other station is going to kill you with Christmas music.
The matchups themselves are not great. But you know what's great? You know what everybody really watches the NFL for?
Fantasy football.
Gambling.
Yes, that too.
I'm sure everybody's got a Christmas package that they're going to put together for a daily fantasy lineup. Daily fantasy lineup.
I didn't say that. Braden did.
I said the games are probably not that good. But you know what?
Yeah, I didn't say that.
They're probably great to listen to on the radio. Plus, you can't watch them on Netflix.
I just highlighted the turn.
And you can't watch them on Prime Video, but you can listen to them on the radio. Chiefs, Broncos, or driving around. I mean, this is the place to be on Christmas Day if you're into sports. Live sports are still better than anything else you could listen to on the radio. You're welcome. I could talk out of both sides of my mouth on that. Sam Fleming's right. The Trustin Will Holiday Bowl also correct.
January 3rd, January 2nd.
Yeah, get the date right. You know what? Sam wants to see you in his office.
Oh, God.
And while you're driving between offices, you can listen to 97 through the Fan and listen to the game.
I usually do, honestly. I usually do.
We got some news from Ken Rosenthal about a possibility of an Angels-Cardinals trade. What is it? We'll tell you about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. Sending us over at Sports Station 97 through the Fan. Anybody mind if Rod has a day? Little Costco on a Thursday? Little Costco dog on a Thursday? Costco chicken bake? Costco pizza? I don't know why you scoffed at my concoction I have there.
I
have never done that, nor would I, unless I just had not eaten in like 3 days, because it's probably 10,000 calories. You've never seen somebody do that?
No, I don't.
I would never do that I would never have anybody do that in public. You've never seen that?
I don't want to be seen doing this.
Google search that. I bet you there's videos of people doing that.
I'm sure there is.
You go to Costco.
I don't
and you buy a hot dog for $1.50. Get the soda with it.
Mm-hmm.
You buy a chicken bake, delicious, loaded with loaded, just like so bad for you, but so good. And you get a slice of pizza. If you wanted to go pepperoni and just go all out, then you get the slice of pepperoni. You open up a hole on one end of the bake, but just take a bite out of it. You stuff the hot dog into the chicken bake, and then you wrap the chicken bake in pizza, in the slice of the pepperoni pizza. And that's a hell of a lunch right there.
Sounds like something that me right now would only get through about a bite of before I was full.
So, we're not going to tell Rod to do that because that's not health conscious.
No,
and we're going to need a massive disclaimer on how this is not good for you, and you probably should not be putting it in your body. But it's good for the soul. Your soul will thank you later.
And at this time of year, what else do you really need other than something good for the soul?
That's right.
Yeah,
do not Google Costco
I was going to
food.
say, like, that's...
No, it's also a disclaimer. Don't listen to anything I tell you to Google either.
Don't do that. Don't do what he said, which was Google putting a hot dog in a chicken. Don't do that because
phrasing.
Don't do that.
You got a dirty mind, dude.
You
I've learned the hard
I'm
way
going
that people
off at
are
what you're
weird
saying,
about
dude.
Costco food. What is your Google search history? Jeez, man. That was like so our boy Sam Fleming said that he was in the top like 0.9% for 97 through the YouTube for the year.
Nice.
And Cole Brooks responded with like, how did you get that? Nobody wants to see Cole Brooks's YouTube history. Nobody wants to see that. Hashtag expand.
Jesus.
Hashtag expand. Expand. I'm seeing adults now do the 6'7" thing. It makes me sick.
Oh, God. Well, no, that's good. It's actually good.
That means it's going to kill it?
Yes. That means it doesn't have much longer a life left.
Yes.
That's usually what happens.
Someone did it the other day, and I wanted to smack them. I forgot who it was, and I was like, did you just do the 6'7" thing? Foul on anybody doing the 6'7" thing. How many...
He draws the foul.
Let me ask you this. How many people, if any of our salespeople do it at the holiday party tomorrow, I might lose my mind. I like our sales staff.
It's going to turn into the Bally Bye.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to the holiday party, right?
Yes.
I'll see you there. It's a big reason why I got a hotel room next door that we got hooked up with, which is great. Thank you, sales staff, for that. But the Bally High Mai Tais, oh boy. I'm staying there the whole weekend just so I don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Nice.
They only give you like 2. I don't even know if I can make it through 1.
Shelter Island it's small, but it's nice. It's a
well,
nice
you know what's
walk.
on
Nice walk down.
You know what's on Sunday?
No.
The Parade of Lights.
Oh, there you go.
Has anybody gone to the Parade of Lights? I'm sure there's a lot of you. And I know there's a lot of you because the last time I went to Parade of Lights, the traffic down there was a nightmare.
Well, yeah, because at Shelter Island, there's one road in, one road out, and it's a ring.
Yeah, but it's not just Shelter Island. Like the Parade of Lights goes from Shelter Island all the way to like the bridge, and then it works back to the landing
The
at
bridge,
Coronado.
The bridge by the
Coronado Bridge.
Really? What?
Look up the Parade of Lights route. it tells you the different times that it gets to those particular areas. So all of those areas, by the way, we all know don't have a lot of parking. And we all know can get backed up with people. And by the way, everybody doesn't plan ahead too far.
Oh,
And
it
the
does
traffic
go.
down there
it is down the bay.
is a nightmare.
Okay, I got you.
So I took that deal we got in the hotel. I'm going to stay down there the whole weekend. And I'll be able to watch the Parade of Lights on Sunday. And you know what I don't have to do? Deal with traffic. It's great. It's great.
I was thinking it was like an actual like land parade.
No,
it's on the
sweet.
water.
Yeah,
no,
great.
I'm seeing it now.
It's great.
The only bridge I'm thinking of there is the one between like the access from Harbor Island to Shelter Island past the airport next to the was it that little cruiser that landed cruiser that's over there. You'll see it when that was the bridge I was thinking of when you said, and then the Coronado Bridge. I'm like, God, that's far.
Yeah, they're on a boat. Though.
I see that now.
Paul Taylor lives on his boat. I know a lot of people that do that. Paul, do you actually participate in the Parade of Lights? I'd love to know. It's a pretty cool thing. Like, if you've never done it before, it's cool. I just recommend getting there early, or if you are deciding to leave at like 4:30, you've already missed the Shelter Island part. You better start heading down to Coronado.
Start rolling.
Good luck. Good luck parking down at Coronado.
It's showing, I don't know if this is for this year. Is this year the 55th annual?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's saying...
Because they had it last week on the 14th, and then the next one's on the 21st, which is Sunday.
It's saying Shelter Island, the start of the parade is at Shelter Island at 5:30.
Correct.
Should be hitting Harbor Island between 5:45 and 6:15. Seaport Village 6:20 to 6:45. Embarcadero 6:50 to 6:15. The pier at Cesar Chavez Park will be at 7:20 to 7:30, and then the ferry landing in Coronado where it's ending is going to be at around 7:40. So it's about a 2-hour, a little bit more than 2-hour deal.
Right, and you just go to your little spot and you sit there and wait, see the parade go through. And I don't know, there's usually a theme. What's the theme this year? Out of this world Christmas. Wow. Some of these, have you seen the boats on the top that they're showing the pictures on the stparadeoflights.org website?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Some of these guys go all out. They're having like parties on their boats and stuff like that. I don't know how you get into the Parade of Lights.
I don't know how you get into the boat with some of these pictures because the lights are covering every inch of it.
Very carefully.
No kidding.
Some of them are cool. Like they put like the structures on there and stuff. They got the big inflatables on there. A lot of the boats go all out. Some of them don't. Some of them are big. Some of them are small. It's a pretty cool deal. It's the 55th annual. They've been doing this for 55 years.
They got a hell of a list of sponsors too.
San Diego, we don't need to say it. San Diego Bay Parade of Lights brings more than 100,000 San Diego residents and visitors to the shores of San Diego Beach each year. Procession of approximately 80 lavishly decorated boats has become one of the most iconic events in the region. There is no cost to view the parade. It starts around 5:30. So I'll be down there on Sunday. I think the whole family's going to go. It's going to be fun. I've gone before. It was a good time. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool deal. I did see, so last week, because it was last weekend too. Last week when I was driving down to USD to do either men's basketball or women's basketball. I couldn't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday. I think it was the day before. I think it was Saturday. So I was driving down to do men's basketball, and I was driving on the 163, and this guy was towing his boat, and the side of his boat was a gigantic fish in lights.
Attaboy.
And I'm like, oh, that guy's going for the that guy's going to the Parade of Lights, I guess. Anyway. He's like, so Paul Taylor said, yes, I was a picket boat. Then all volunteers get a party at Valley High in January. That's cool.
Nice.
What a cool deal. So anyway, Parade of Lights is this weekend. As I mentioned before, I'm going to say it multiple times. If you're going to go to Parade of Lights on Sunday, it starts at 5:30 at Shelter Island. It works its way across. I'd recommend going to sdparadeoflights.org to see the map, to see when they get there. And I would recommend getting there a couple of hours before it's supposed to roll through because the traffic down there is rough.
Yeah, especially if you want to be there at the start at Shelter Island. It's Shelter Island is an interesting place to get onto and off of. It's not difficult. It's just
difficult.
it's one way in and one way out. And again, it's a circle. It's a ring.
And there's not a lot of parking.
No, only on the shorefront in front of the hotels, really. That's it.
Yeah,
and
where
there's not a lot.
The Valley High is.
Yeah, and well, no, I'm talking about like the like where the Blue Wave is across from Humphreys, like that.
Yeah, that's over by.
Well, no, I know, but Valley High is a little bit further. Like if you're
that's
going
where that
on
big lot is.
Yeah, if you're going on to Shelter Island, Valley High is to the left, right?
Yeah, it's at that.
Yeah,
it's at the end of. It's on the far end of the left. The hotels are right there at the loop, and that's where all the parking is.
Yeah.
Braden's parade boat would be TCU themed, of course. Juan, of course, my guy.
Familiar with that area. We always went to the Blue Wave restaurant inside the Best Western down there.
I've never been there.
My uncle used to have a boat. It's not as good as it used to be. But.
No, we've done a lot of times. It's pretty great. Is you get Mona Lisa sandwiches.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you go picnic out there on the. It's great. Great time.
Sir.
All right, so we'll talk more about that later, probably tomorrow. We're talking about the holiday party. Or maybe with Skylar, because Skylar's going to the holiday party too. She'll be joining us at 12:30 to give her bowl picks, but mostly for the college football playoff, which it starts tomorrow. Her Alabama Crimson Tide are taking on the Oklahoma Sooners during our party. You get to watch Oklahoma and Alabama while she's going to be in a box. I'm going to tell you right now, if TCU is playing in a college football playoff game during the holiday party, nobody's talking to me.
She'll be standing at the bar with me watching the game because I don't mingle all that well. So yeah, we'll both be standing there at the bar in silence watching the Alabama game.
I hate both schools, so I don't know who I'm rooting for in that particular case. Anyway, when we come back, a potential trade for the Angels and the Cardinals, and what did everybody's favorite journalist, Ken Rosenthal, say about Michael King and maybe a return to the Padres? We'll discuss when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, Settings Number Sports Station 97 through the Fan. All right, we're going to get to a kind of extended sports thread with a couple of baseball stories before we start the sports thread. Remember to listen to us at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a future Padres game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. All right, couple of things. Start with the Padres news. It's very limited news. But what's the name of this podcast again? Fair territory, foul territory, something territory?
Foul territory.
Foul territory. It's spelled like a chicken fowl, like F-O-W-L?
No, it's F-O-U-L.
Okay.
It's
not a Chick-fil-A thing?
No, actually. Funny enough, like the baseball podcast is spelled as the baseball word.
Ah, interesting. Anyway, so it is Ken Rosenthal and Alana Rizzo on this particular deal, correct?
Yes.
And we're not going to play the sound for you. It's very limited. But he's talking about Michael King, and he wants to make a decision soon, and yada, yada, yada. And then he also mentioned the Padres, and after losing Dylan Cease, they are still in the mix for Michael King. But again, Michael King wants to make a decision soon. He's trying to weigh over. So that's what we got on that. But I'm going to tell you what. This is why it's significant. This is the first time that we have seen or heard any type of potential look at the Padres still being interested in Michael King, or still being in the mix. Not that they're not interested.
Just a link.
But a link. So you're saying there's a chance. Is there hope? Because all the other links before did not have the Padres. They're still in the mix. Take it for what it's worth from everybody's favorite journalist, Ken Rosenthal. Augie, SpongeBob, hands on hips. Still in the mix. That was one of the reports. The other one from this particular deal was a potential trade between the Angels and the Cardinals. Frank, did you get that one?
I did see it. So from what this is saying is it's reliant entirely on the Angels' ability to buy out Anthony Rendon's contract. And if they could do that, then they could be in the market to trade for Nolan Arenado, from what I'm seeing. So that could be the salary dump that Anaheim wants. It could be
Arenado gets to go back to basically his hometown of El Toro.
Yeah, Arenado gets to play in LA,
Orange County.
Somewhat.
Yeah, they say just because they call themselves LA doesn't make them LA. Just ask their fans who want nothing to do with being LA.
I have a feeling that what's the kid's name? Karen Moore. He's probably going to have to be the centerpiece of that trade. The big power hitting second baseman from the Angels.
Oh,
he's probably going to have to be the centerpiece of that trade coming back to get Arenado. I just see his numbers here.
What are the Cardinals going to do with Rendon?
No. No. The Angels have to buy out Rendon's contract to get it off the books first, because that was the conversation a couple of weeks ago, was that they're trying to buy him out to where he's no longer on the team.
They're trying to get him to retire.
Yeah. So if and that was the caveat. If they were going to buy him out, he had to retire.
Yeah, that's not happening.
So it's not like the guy likes playing baseball anyway. If they get him to buy out, so if they buy him out, then they will be in the mix for Nolan Arenado. It has nothing to do with Rendon going to St. Louis.
That makes least sense. It would make more sense if like the Cardinals picked up some of the tab on the deal to get rid of Arenado.
Oh, no,
they're splitting payments on it. But for the Angels to just buy Rendon out of his contract and then trade for Arenado, that's a lot of money for Arenado to play third base.
That's at least how
aging veteran.
That's at least how I understand reading it. Yeah, I could be wrong. It's Christian Moore, not Kyron Moore. It's Kyron Paris and Christian Moore. Christian Moore is the big. Had 162 at bats last year, 7 home runs, 16 RBIs, 198. But he was a lightning bolt in the minors last year for Rocket City. Went straight from Rocket City up to the major league club. 5 home runs, 14 RBIs. He hit 322 for Rocket City last year. So the kid's good. Or I'm sorry. Oh no, he did. I was looking at the wrong year. I was looking at 2014.
Oh my God.
2024.
2014.
2024. He hit 2 home runs at 5 RBIs. 5 home runs, 26 RBIs. He had 2 triples and hit 292 in Salt Lake City for the Bees last year before finally getting the call. I would have to assume that he would be the centerpiece going to St. Louis in that deal.
Cardinals are running out of spots to trade Nolan Arenado, and it's going to cost them a pretty penny. Those are the 2 extra stories as we get to today's sports thread. All right, let's get to it.
Juan, it's not propaganda if it's true.
Number 1.
That's what they want you to think.
Ohio University has fired head coach Brian Smith for cause, citing serious professional misconduct and contract violations, though the school did not provide specific details. Smith, who went 8-4 in his first season and had been placed on leave earlier this month, disputes the termination and plans to fight it legally. Defensive coordinator John Hauser will serve as the interim coach while Ohio begins a search for a permanent replacement. How do you think universities should balance transparency with legal risk when firing a coach for cause, especially when it's aligned with alleged misconduct?
What are you asking me what they should do? I know
how should universities balance transparency with legal risk when firing coaches for cause, especially when the alleged misconduct is not publicly detailed?
I don't know. It's a kind of a hard area to deal with because you don't want to release information that you might have in the public. Maybe you're doing the right thing by telling the public one thing instead of what's actually happening. I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to be as transparent as possible for why a guy is losing his job. I don't know the legalities of all of this. He got let go. There's probably more to this story, but what I read was he got let go for drinking in his office.
Attaboy.
Right? Isn't that what you read in the article? I read it last night. He got let go. Everybody thought it was like a Sharon Moore thing, and maybe it is. And they haven't released that information yet. But he got let go for his conduct of drugs and alcohol. And the fact that he had alcohol in his office and would have drinks of alcohol, not on the job, but at the conclusion of games, and take a drink with some of his coaching staff after wins, was a violation of his contract, is what I read in that particular deal. Now, it's in his contract that he can't do that, so he violates his contract. Yeah. Is that being dumb? Kind of like, is that a dumb thing to get fired for?
That is kind of
It's kind of ridiculous for Ohio to fire their guy on that. But
it's in the contract, though.
It's in the contract. If they say it's in the contract and it violates the alcohol and drug policy, now here's the deal: he's suing Ohio now.
Yes.
So he obviously thinks it's not in the contract that is a violation or that counts. So this is going to get interesting. But they fired him after he went 8-4. Now, if he is having drinks in his office post-game and there are staff members in there that are underage,
then yeah,
you might have a problem.
Yeah,
but he said,
and
his side of the story was everybody was overage. Now, I don't know the gender of this. I don't know if that goes into any relationships that might happen. I don't know. That doesn't sound like that is the case. And the reports are not saying any of that. And maybe Ohio is holding back that information. I don't know. What's being reported was he had a glass of bourbon a couple of times with his coaching staff who are all over the age of 21, or it says staff members, so who knows? It didn't say anything about relationships. It didn't say anything about, all it said was the alcohol in his office was the main problem. And for that, I think that's kind of a dumb reason to fire your coach. But as we've said, if it is in his contract and it states in his contract, you cannot do this, and he did it, then they have a right to fire you. That's how I view this situation. If it specifically doesn't say, like, he can't have a drink in his office, then he might have a case to win. But I think there's more information here. I think they're missing something in this story. But based on what I read, it was kind of like, really?
Yeah.
That's what he got let go for?
Yeah, exactly. And that's
number 2.
Ridiculous. LA Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua criticized NFL referees during a live stream, suggesting that some officials make questionable calls in order to get attention on television. Speaking casually with online streamers, Nacua implied that referees are influenced by ego and visibility, even joking that they might brag to friends about being seen on major broadcasts. His comments come with potential risk as the NFL has a history of fining players for publicly criticizing officiating. Despite the remarks, the Rams are focused on their upcoming Thursday night showdown against the Seahawks, a game that will decide first place in the NFC West. And with more news coming out around Nacua and his family over the course of the last 24 hours, I mean, this has just been a firestorm for him and the Rams as they go into their biggest game of the year.
Yeah, I don't know what Puka Nacua is doing. He put out an apology, by the way, for the stuff that happened like the last 24 hours that doesn't involve his brother. It's just, the Rams got to sit down with Puka Nacua and be like, we are going to need you to figure your stuff out, because what had happened has been very, very bad for Puka Nacua. And again, it's a massive problem for him, the NFL, the Rams. They got to fix that.
Fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the gas lamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
Can't believe it's already noon. Noon lunchtime hour, 97 through the fan. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. Welcome in. All guests on 97 through the fan join us on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We haven't talked about food too much in the noon lunchtime hour in the last couple of basically weeks, months.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been a while.
I went shopping the last couple of days at UTC, get the Christmas shopping done. Went to Javier's the other day.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good.
Nice.
It's very expensive, but it was very good. Atmosphere was great. I think my dad said at one point, he's like, I feel like this feels like I'm in Cabo when I go here. Have you ever been to Javier's?
No, I have not.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good spot. You know, very nice. Like right now is very much the like when you go to dinners. Like this is like when everybody's like company takes them to like a nice dinner or they do like a nice party in one of these places. We get to go to Bali High tomorrow, which is awesome. Looking forward to that. It's like most of the parties at Javier's the other night were big groups. It was good. Good margaritas. I had a they have like a combo. They have some like traditional Mexican food, like Mexican sit down place restaurants or menu items that you see. I got one of those because they're good for they're no like they got good steaks and they got it's like any other fancy steakhouse, right?
Yeah.
So I got the enchilada, chili relleno, and the taco. They do a chili relleno where you can do like ground beef and cheese inside the chili relleno.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good. So good. So good. So I had the ground beef and cheese in the chili relleno. I had a cheese enchilada, and I had a ground beef taco, which was great.
Nice.
Sometimes I do shredded beef, but ground beef is hard for me to turn down. It was a good meal. Good meal.
Sounds good.
Last night, so yesterday, met up with my family again. My mom was up in Carlsbad. They had I think they had the farmer's market going on. She bought tamales. Oh, I love tamales. You like tamales?
Yeah, more or less.
I got a beef and red sauce tamale, pork and green sauce tamale. I had the chili and cheese tamale. So good. Just good stuff. Now, when you're thinking about like nicer restaurants, do you have like a preference? Like, do you like going to nice restaurants?
Yeah, I don't mind it. There was I just
like if you had to pick do you a steakhouse guy?
Yeah.
Like it's Frank Marchese's birthday, and you get to go wherever you want for dinner. Where are you going in San Diego for dinner? You have to say San Diego because
it's usually Mona Lisa's, but
you go to Mona Lisa's for dinner? Really?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a good spot.
Yeah.
We're thinking like, let's talk high end. No, I know. Let's talk high end. Who's your favorite high end spot? I like a lot of good steakhouses.
I don't usually go to a lot of high end. I loved.
No, it's every once in a while. You don't want to go all the time.
No, I know.
Nate, Costco.
I loved Lou and Mickey's down at the gas lamp.
So great. They built a ballpark next door.
Yeah, I loved Lou and Mickey's.
Is a good spot.
I've heard it changed a lot. I've been there once, but it was really, really good. What's the Nicky Rotten's?
That's not a high end.
No,
place,
I know it's not a high end place, but
that
over
was in Coronado.
Yeah, there's one downtown too. That was really good.
Are you a steakhouse guy? Like if you like going to a steakhouse, like are you a Ruth Chris or a Fleming's or they used to have Donovan's in town. I don't even know if they have those anymore.
My uncle used to work at in Connecticut. He used to work for Morton's. He was a GM for Morton's.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Because this is around the time you get like some of the gift cards for those places.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like when I coach football, like our banquet's gonna be in January. I always get like the restaurant chain that has like Chart House and stuff, which is always good. Butcher Shop, good spot. You'd fit in at the Butcher Shop and Mr. Ace. Mr. Ace is like super high end. Like right now, like a lot of people go to nice dinners. Like I've gone to, I've been fortunate enough to go to the Marine Room a couple times. Always a great place. My parents had just gone to the Marine Room like for the first time like a couple of years ago. They lived there their whole lives. That's how like great of a place it is.
There was one really high end seafood restaurant that I remember going to downtown. It's like the Atlantic or something like that. If I remember right, it started with an A.
Oh, I have to say, there's a place in La Jolla that my family went to the other day. I didn't go. I wasn't invited. My parents went. And they made a reservation at a place called Manhattan's. Okay. I think that's right. I let me make sure that that's actually a place in La Jolla real quick. I'm pretty sure it's called Manhattan's. And so they make the reservation, right? And they're eating their dinner. Yeah, Manhattan's of La Jolla. They're eating their dinner. They're doing their thing. And like the manager comes up in the middle of dinner. And she goes like, Are you related to Braden Surprenant? And my parents were like,
no.
Excuse me?
Nope.
First of all, how did you know we were Surprenants, whatever? Like, and she was like, well, I saw the reservation. And so I had to ask because I listened to his show with him and Frank every day.
Yeah, we get that a lot. The kid's a dweeb. We don't know who he is.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. And then like the waitress is like, oh yeah, they turned me out. So the manager over there, she's not from San Diego.
Okay.
She's a Dodger fan.
Oh boy.
But she loves our show and loves all the Padres technology. So shout out to the staff at Manhattan. She's gotten most of the staff of Manhattan's to listen to our show.
There you go.
We love it.
See, we like that.
I see. You know what? This is the time where I got to send my parents out with T-shirts so we could just start handing out the T-shirts.
Yes.
At Manhattan's of La Jolla. I've never been. I bet you it's good.
I would have to assume you're going soon now.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Maybe, who knows? I like going like steakhouse way, like Cowboy Star downtown's great.
Okay.
You know, I did get a guy hand me his card for Greystone. I think it was Greystone, if I'm not mistaken. And then
I forget where did we...
Greystone Steakhouse. I haven't hit him up yet because I've never. He's like, oh, you got to try us, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to. But like, if you had to give me your top steakhouse places in town that you wanted to go to,
I gotta look up where we went to for Army Navy. We went to Rice Street Tavern.
Yes, that was on the
in
itinerary.
Baltimore. Yeah, we went to Rice Street Tavern in Baltimore. That place was really, really good.
That's money.
Their bread pudding was also pretty good too.
You a bread pudding guy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a dessert guy.
What do you get at a steakhouse? Like all these ones that are like, what's your cut of steak?
I would just say the New York strip. I keep it simple. New York strip medium.
The fillet's pretty simple too.
Yeah. I would go with New York strip medium fries.
You get fries at a steakhouse.
Yeah.
You'll do like mac and cheese or
every now and
potatoes.
Again. Every now and again, I'll do if it's fries or mac and cheese, one of the two.
The mac and cheese at steakhouses hit. You feel like a little kid, but you know what? It hits. Every time.
Exactly. I don't care.
It hits every time.
As long as it's good. I'm not trying to impress you by my order.
New York strip porterhouse for the big backs.
Well, remember, I can't eat as much anymore now. So that's the thing.
You take a New York strip over ribeye?
Depends.
You can have any cut of meat you want, like at the plate.
No, I know.
I'm saying, like just any cut of meat. Somebody's buying, and they say, get whatever you want.
Oh, I probably have a fillet then.
Fillet's the best.
Yeah,
it's probably the best. At steakhouses, I either go fillet or ribeye.
Yeah, if someone's buying and someone has given me the green light to get what I want, then yeah, I'm gonna enjoy myself.
I'm gonna let you order whatever you want. I'm not paying for it. I'm just saying, like just in general. What do you got?
Yeah, no, I'd have a.
Do you do a salad for an appetite? You do an app too, or no?
No, I keep green things away from me. I'm not a salad guy. I'm not a vegetable guy. Sorry. Al Michaels has lived as long as he has without eating a vegetable. I'm going for his record.
David Vu's on it. Oh, then tomahawk. The tomahawk for two, so not a bad deal most times.
Yeah, no, I would go.
Hey, you know what? Here's a scenario for you, Mr. Casanova over here. Date night. You got somebody else paying for. You're funded. Okay. You could spend whatever you want. You got to go in there. You got to show. You got to know what's going on, which means you're handling everything. You're handling the drinks.
Brother,
you're handling the apps. You're handling. It's a nice night. You want to treat this girl to a nice night. How do you got to roll in there and you got to know what's going on. You got to order everything. What's our menu? No. What's this? A nice steak dinner.
I'm just saying, if it's a date night, I'm not looking to impress because I'm looking to show who I am.
You got to order for both of you. So you got to order. You're going in there. You're setting the tone. You got everything handled. You're handling everything as a good Italian man would.
As a good Italian man would, I would let her make her own decision.
No,
she's a big girl. She can figure it out.
You got to take care of it. You should know what she already likes. You should know what she likes. Just take care of it.
Well, what if what she likes isn't what she wants?
You're thinking too much. This is where overthinking.
That's what I do. I'm an overthinker and a worrier. That's a problem.
Go ahead and order the perfect steak dinner.
I mean, I would probably go filet mignon and lobster tail.
It's a 3-course meal. You got to get the app, you got to get the steak, and you got to get the sides, and then a dessert. You get to pick.
I would probably take a soup and salad, one of each.
Okay, split it so you guys can both have some.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Yeah, David Vu's right. You are way overthinking this,
brother. It's again.
We're off to a decent start.
I am.
Would you like bread, sir? It comes only if you want it.
What kind of Italian says no to bread?
You know what? Now I got to test you because you're just mentally breaking down right now.
Of course, there's bread. I would say probably filet mignon and lobster tail, and then an ice cream or a cheesecake or a pie or whatever for dessert. Custard, if you will.
You did the surf and turf?
Well, I wouldn't have the lobster tail. I'm allergic to lobsters, I found out.
Yeah, why would you even put that on the table?
I'm not. I've had lobster before, and I didn't have a reaction, so I can that was new to me when I found out I was allergic to lobster.
All right, so to recap, the soup and salad. Say yes to the bread. You got the filet.
Yes.
Okay, it's classy. Don't listen to the haters in the chat.
I'm not.
Don't listen to the haters in the chat. Filet's a good call. That's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say your side was?
The lobster tail.
You have a lobster tail on the side. You need like a starch. What's your starch? Some type of potato, dude. I mean, or you can get asparagus, or you can get Brussels sprouts.
I would say just like garlic mashed potatoes.
Okay,
I'll take that.
Garlic mash. You got the steak. You got the garlic mash. You're going a little surf and turf with the lobster, and then dessert. You're a cheesecake guy.
Yeah. Why is Frank still single? There's a reason why. Is because of the conversation that we had leading up to this as to why are you overthinking everything? You get worried too easily.
Get what you want. That's all I'm saying. The cheesecake, interesting touch. I mean, to me, I like getting things that I can't make. So like creme brulee, good dessert for me. I like creme brulee. Nobody in my family likes creme brulee. I will take the creme brulee.
Been talking to someone for a little while now. She went for her birthday. Her friends took her out to a restaurant.
Okay.
And she got what she didn't know what it was, but it basically was a peach panna cotta. So I've been trying to make that, actually trying to recreate it. So I'd probably, if they have a peach panna cotta, I'd order that for her.
Okay.
Which panna cotta is basically pudding, for those of you.
You having wine on the side? What's your?
I
know you don't drink.
Yeah, I don't. She can have whatever she wants. If she wants wine, that's fine.
Did you used to have wine at dinner as a kid with the Italian family? We used to have wine all the time on Sunday dinners.
I've had sips of wine. I don't have any interest in alcohol. I've had beers before. I've had wine and drinks before. I just don't have any interest in it. And I don't care.
And that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't care if you do. You can drink as much as you want. It's not going to bother me. It's not going to make me stop you that I don't drink. This segment shouldn't be such a struggle. You know what? Go Aztecs. He's asking me to do something that I wouldn't do.
I got to get you out of your comfort zone.
I got to
get you out of your comfort zone.
It's not
this
even comfort zone.
You know what? You know what? Get you out of your comfort zone sometimes. At the beginning of the show,
it's
the
not
comfort
even
zone was getting you to talk a little bit. Now you're starting to do that a little bit.
It's not even
we
comfort
talked about
zone.
the dinners at Army Navy. You're like, I'm in a box right now.
Yeah. Oh
come
God.
on.
Oh, I was dying at Army. I was dying at the Army Navy dinner. I was dying at the Army Navy dinner.
Needed your right hand man right there to get you going through some conversations. Dog.
I sent Braden a text that was as close to "Mom, please pick me up" that I could send without saying those words.
I'm going through warm-ups for a state championship game, and I'm getting text with emoticons saying like,
"This is my comfort zone. This is my comfort zone."
All right.
I sent a brick, a smiley face emoji, and another brick. This is my comfort zone. And then immediately after that, a brick, an empty space, and then another brick with a smiley face way on the other end of the text saying, "This is where I am right now. Help me."
I was over 3,000 miles away trying to help 82 teenagers. I had a little bit of my own problems at that point.
And I'm saying, this is not me. I'm the behind the scenes. Technically, I'm the behind the scenes guy. This is your spot. Why am I here?
It's all right. You had a good time. You got to be able to talk to more than just me and Skylar at the holiday party tomorrow.
Know.
I'm just saying.
Well, it's easy. I know you guys.
I know.
And I did.
And you'll get to know everybody else. You know Adam. Adam's going to be there.
I did venture around, and I did talk to people. Like I said, Zach Gelb and Stu Kovacs from Infinity Sports Network. I've worked with them, got to catch up with them. Very nice talking to them again for the first time in forever. So, yeah, I did end up enjoying it. Thank goodness. They said that the itinerary said they were leaving. It was from like 6:30 to 11. And we ended up leaving like 8:45. I was like, thank God.
Oh, the Army Navy stuff?
So much.
The Army Navy stuff is usually like, oh, here's the first bus for the people that don't want to be around those people. And then the second bus is usually like way too late. And I usually take the first bus out too because I'm exhausted.
Yeah, no,
and we usually have a plane to catch of some kind, or it's going to be a long day the next day. And I'm like, I don't want to get hammered with the rest of the group here. So I'm going to go home.
There were 2 buses.
Always take the early bus on those deals.
Oh, no, there were 2 buses that left at the same time. There was no early bus. There was no late bus.
It's usually an early bus and a late bus.
No, it was, if you want to go to dinner, be down here at 6.
No, I mean on the way back.
Oh,
no. Home.
No. We all left at 9. We all left at like 9:15 because they wanted us to get back for the fireworks show that they were putting on. So we ended up getting back at like 9, which was great because if I had to sit there for 2 more hours, I was going to lose it. My uncle called me because he was in DC for John Cena's last match. He called me like right as we sat down at the table, right as we got there. I answered the phone. I didn't even say hello. I said, I have never been so happy to receive a phone call in my life.
Oh my God.
And then hung up. Said, let me call you back. I still haven't heard from him. I still have not heard from him.
I liked your steakhouse order. It's clean. It's classic.
Yeah.
The classic steakhouse order.
You
didn't tell me the place yet, so I don't.
It's okay to not be, Jocelyn saying, it's okay to not be the loud in your face one. Right. That's why I don't mind dating a loud girl because someone has to say that my steak is overcooked and it's not going to be me.
It's not going to be me.
It's
but
not
I need
me.
somebody to say it.
Someone's got to say it and it's not going to be me.
You know who's not going to do it? Me. If the steak is not done well, if the food's not done well, I do what Sebastian Maniscalco does. Salmon sucks. Let's get the F out and never go back. That's how you do that. You don't complain or tattletale in the restaurant.
And that's why. And that
Jocelyn is throwing hands today.
And that led to the question, well, how can you do this? This is easy. This is just a one-on-one conversation between me and you. I could do that. That's not a problem. The fact that I have a microphone and the fact that I'm talking to the entirety of San Diego doesn't even come to my mind. it's just a one-on-one conversation, which is why this is easy.
Juan, you would think that, but that's not the case. I am the quiet one.
Oh, Braden is the
I am quiet. Do not, especially at restaurants, do not do that. I would go with the more, we got to take a break. But
yes, we do.
You didn't give me a steak. Lou and Mickey's? Ruth's Chris?
No, I would
Greystone?
probably go to Morton's.
Morton's.
Yeah.
That's the steakhouse of choice.
Which is interesting because there was a Morton's in the hotel, in the Sheraton that we stayed at.
I'm surprised you didn't blow the popsicle stand and go to Morton's.
I thought about it. I thought about it, but then I was like, oh, I'm going to have to pay for Morton's.
We got an update. We got an update on the Ohio thing. I told you there was more to this story.
Oh, well, there you go.
There's more to this story. This makes a lot more sense now. We'll tell you about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. Standing number one Sports Station 97 through the Fan. This holiday season, too many San Diegans will go hungry. Join 97 through the Fan and support the San Diego Food Bank. Donate food directly online through our Odyssey San Diego Food Fund, where every donation helps feed local families. Go to 97 through the Fan, SD.com/food fund and give today. All right, we got a lot to get to on the show today. Skylar's going to be joining us in the next segment. And then she's going to be joining us at 1. My mistake. We're going to get to a lot of different things. We need a contestant for the Midday Sports Stand-Up. Where is our contestants in the chat that constantly want to play for these things? Well, you got 2 chances left to take me down to sports trivia. 2 chances left. And if you do, you have an opportunity to qualify. And there has not been a lot of qualifiers. But if you take me down in sports trivia, you are qualified for a shot at our grand prize. 2 tickets to New Kids on the Block in Las Vegas on June 26th. A 2-night stay at Park MGM and a $100 gas card. Calling all blockheads. New Kids on the Block just announced 2026 dates for their The Right Stuff Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM. Don't miss all your favorite hits live in Vegas with New Kids on the Block. February to October of 2026. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. When we come back from break. Now, we just saw this come down, and it's now making its way. We talked about it during the sports thread about Ohio firing their head coach, and it was for like alcohol violations, right? And it seemed kind of ridiculous.
Said something was off. There's
right.
gotta be
It
more
was
to
like,
this.
really, him having a drink with his staff? That doesn't sound that bad. I mean, isn't that what everybody does at the college level?
I was going to say that seems like standard procedure.
It seems pretty standard. So anyway, that was the report. It was that. It was having alcohol in his room. It's like, okay. So now, which makes this interesting, and Margaret Fleming of Front Office Sports has now tweeted this out. She has reported this today. This happened about an hour ago. Ex-Ohio University head football coach Brian Smith was fired yesterday. I just received a public records request from the school that say Smith had a relationship with an undergraduate student in addition to the alcohol claims that have already been reported.
And there it is.
What did we say? Like literally almost an hour ago. There has to be more to this story. It has to be more than just drinking after a game. Pretends to be shocked.
Bro.
This is what the public records pulled of Ohio talking to their coach on fire, like for cause. Your conduct triggers this clause in multiple ways. This includes your participation in extramarital affairs, including one with an undergraduate student, to which you have admitted. This brings on the very scandal and ridicule in this issue, in this section. In addition, you appear to have admitted to athletic director Lars Shield that you carried on an affair in part on campus at the Ohio University Inn, where you were likely to be observed by OU constituents such as student athletes, families, donors, and alumni, and where you were indeed witnessed by a football player's parent. While it is possible that more related evidence of misconduct may come to light, the facts above establish cause under this section. You have previously been reprimanded for your repeated use of alcohol in your office. They have warned him before. In violation of university policy discussed further below, including with those who report to you. Separate from that, it has been reported to the university that you participated in a public appearance during which you smelled strongly of alcohol and were intoxicated in your demeanor. Such appearances are, of course, part of your duties to promote and communicate about the program. Your use of alcohol thus establishes cause under Section 7.113. Bro.
Not having extramarital relations with your undergrad students challenge impossible. level.
What are you doing?
Brother,
What are you doing? I don't want to phrase this properly. The most damning part of this entire thing is where it says you have admitted it. In addition, you appear to have admitted to athletic director Lars Shield that you carried on an affair in part on campus at Ohio University Inn, where you were likely to be observed by Ohio University constituents such as student athletes, families, donors, and alumni, and where you were indeed witnessed by a football player's parent. That is the most damning part of that entire public records release, if you will.
Does he have a history of playing football? Just out of curiosity, like, was he a player at some point in his career, life?
Brian Smith?
Yes.
Brian Smith, head football coach, former head football coach.
Because, I mean, this just goes to show, I mean...
he was a center and a long snapper at the University of Hawaii in 1998 to 2001. O-line coach at Royal High School in California, and then he was a assistant at Hawaii in 2004. Coached at Cal Lutheran, Oregon State, Portland State, all his assistants. Went back to Hawaii, went back to Cal Lutheran, was at Occidental, back at Hawaii, was the offensive coordinator at Washington State in 2020. Washington State associate head coach and offensive coordinator and running back and coach in 2021, and then got the Ohio job in 2022 as the running backs coach. He just became the head coach this season. He was the passing game coordinator, running backs coach, associate head coach, and then in 2025 he became the head coach.
I went to San Ysidro High School. I went to San Ysidro High School in 2007, 2008, my freshman year, and then went to Olympian High School from 2008 until I graduated in 2011. I'm not insinuating or suggesting that anything to this degree happened there. But even then, it is so ingrained in society that if you are a football player specifically, you can get away with anything. You can get away with absolutely anything that no other kid or student can get away with.
I'm going to rephrase that. It's not football. If you bring in money to the school in any facet, or you bring in money anywhere in any facet, you can get away with anything.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's not just football. We see it more prominent in football.
Yes.
Because it makes a lot of money. But if you make a lot of money for a certain entity, you could do whatever you want. And that's called power.
And that's why I asked if he had been a player, because he would have grown up with that mentality of, I am bulletproof. I can do whatever I want, and I can always wiggle myself out of it.
There's a lot of people that think that. Those are all people that are very talented and make money.
And I just, it starts with the schools, first of all. Like I said, in high schools, you lose a football game. Oops, sorry, your players shouldn't have done the stupid thing that they did. That's number one. And once that starts to trickle around and people start to actually uphold it and say, you know what, we'll hang an L here to mold a person for their future, then this starts to go away.
Even when schools say you can't do this and get out of the school, then they go to other schools mid-season
and do the same thing.
And then they play immediately, and you go, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. There's no repercussions to actions.
No, you can see that at the high school level. All over the
Yes.
place. Go look at the high school level right now. Go look at it. And that's where any athlete or coach or whatever brings more money in than they give. It's like the whole, like, the reason why you're in the batting lineup in baseball, if you score more runs than you let up, you're in it. It's the same thing with a lot of these. If you bring more money in than you are worth, then this is the kind of level of bulletproof that these certain entities have
Yeah,
sometimes.
and again, that's why I asked if he was a player, is to see if he grew up with this mentality or if he's just a creep. And he has been enabled, he's been allowed to be a creep his entire life.
I mean, we don't know that for a fact, but we do know. But what you can tell is like if you once you start getting to a point where you're in charge of things and you seem like you have a lot of money and you're on top and people do whatever you say, you think you're indestructible, but you're not. And one life lesson that I learned, I didn't learn it the hard way, but I learned from my head coach at Cathedral, Sean Doyle, when I was a player. He used to say this to scare kids out of doing dumb things. He said, whatever you're doing right now that's not right, you may be getting away with it now, but eventually
it's going to come back
catches up to you.
Yep.
And it catches up to everybody. And so this guy could be doing it just this year. He could have been doing it for years. Who knows? We're not going to speculate on any of that, except for like what we have been given the information on. And that goes for everybody out there. Like if you're doing something right now that you know is not right, you might be getting away with it right now, but eventually it comes back.
It'll find you.
And it will find you. It might find you at the end of your life. It might find you within 3 days of you doing this. It might find you immediately, whatever amount of time. It will always find you. You will never be able to outrun the decisions and the poor decisions that you have made, and you'll never be able to outrun the bad things that you have done. Eventually, it will catch up to you. And for Brian Smith, it is caught up to him.
And right, Juan Ruiz in the chat says it's a lot more systematic, but it is the most prominent in football.
You just see it because it's covered more.
Yeah, because it brings in the most money.
I mean, it's all over politics.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They just cover it up more. Football, it's not as much covered up, but it's everywhere. But again, the conversation's the same. Whatever you're doing, and if it's bad, it's going to catch up to you. And you know what? After he told me that, I started to pay attention more. And when there were things that I knew that were BS, that were unfair, that I can't believe this is happening, eventually something went back around and caught up with that person. And so when you see these things, like when you see people like get rewarded for doing bad things and you get frustrated with it, there's not really you could do anything about it. It's out of your control. But at the same time, you just got to have the peace of mind of it's going to bite. It's going to come back to haunt them.
Fate
eventually.
will handle it.
Right. So we went super long in this. We need a contestant for the Midday Sports Stand-Up. We have some people called in. We haven't gone through it yet. So there's a last-ditch effort. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Give us a call. Try to take me down in sports trivia. And you will potentially get qualified to win a trip to Vegas to see New Kids on the Block. We'll do that when we go to break on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. This hour 97 through the fans brought to you by Mission Fed. From first accounts to big life moments, Mission Fed can help. Savings shouldn't be stressful. Mission Fed makes it easier with great rates on savings certificates and ultra money market accounts. Grow your money the smart way. Check the latest rates and open an account at missionfed.com. Membership and account criteria apply. Just enough time to get to our midday sports standoff, Frank.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, he's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
I just realized what I've done here. This is going to be very, very interesting.
Uh-oh.
Our contestant today is Brandon in Oceanside.
Yes.
Playing against Braden in San Diego. Brandon, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm just trying to win some new Kids on the Block tickets.
There you go.
And
All right, that's the attitude we like.
Remember, if you win, you get qualified. Then you still have to outlast the people that have qualified. So, good luck to Brandon.
It's Ocean Beach, by the way.
Mission what?
Oh, Mission Beach. Sorry. Ocean Beach. Sorry, my bad. So today,
Frank heard Ocean, just assumed Oceanside.
First of all,
North County bias.
First of all, I want to first apologize if I mix your names up. Second of all,
it's all right. Most people call me Brandon anyway.
I know, that's why I realized what I did. Our topic today: which schools, I should say, Division I schools, have produced the most NFL Hall of Famers? So which schools have produced...
Are we talking like NFL, MLB? What are we? NFL Hall of Famers?
That's... I thought
NFL
Hall of Famers would insinuate that, yes, we're talking about the NFL Hall of Famers.
I heard the Hall of Famers part.
No, the NFL Hall of Famers. So which schools have produced the most NFL Hall of Famers? Brandon, you are first. Top 10 answers.
Let's go Alabama.
Alabama has produced 8. They are 8th on the list.
I remember this list being like, I remember there's one school on this list. I remember really?
I will say there's no tricks like Yale, Harvard. They're not going to be here.
Well, the trick to me is, and I saw this not too long ago, Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Panthers have produced 10 Hall of Famers.
Correct. Pitt.
That's one of the schools that you forget about all the time.
They are 5 on the list. Brandon?
Let's go Michigan.
Michigan is number 3 on the list. They produce 11.
USC.
USC is tied at the top with 14.
Ohio State.
Ohio State is 4th on the list. They have also produced 10.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is the 2nd. They have also produced 14. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8.
Oh boy. Stanford.
Good guess, but no. I think Stanford's produced 5. I think somewhere they're not on this list.
Adam said Brad's strategy got to hold Pitt until after the obvious answer.
I thought the same thing.
I have 2 more up my sleeve. Nobody would think that the Illinois Fighting Illini have top 10 in Hall of Fame players.
You know why no one would think that?
Why?
It's because they do.
They do. That's right. And I got 1 more up my sleeve.
Illinois has produced 6. That is the least amount on this list.
That's number 10.
That is number 10. Brandon? Got to get this one if you want a chance to tie.
Let's go Florida State.
Another good guess, but no. Florida State is not on the list.
So who do we have so far?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 10.
Did he say Alabama?
Yes, he did.
I'm going to go with the U, Miami.
Miami is number 6. They have 9. So, Brandon, you need to get this one. Otherwise, it's your third strike, but you still do have a chance to tie.
Let's do UT. Austin.
Again, no. Very good guess, but no. That is it. Started off strong, but that is number 3. Braden, we have 2 left.
Well, oh God, do I have to get both of these two to win, or is he got one more strike?
It's over.
Oh, it's over. I won.
Yeah, he has the third
The
strike.
other one up my sleeve was Syracuse. Guys like Jim Brown, Larry Zonka went to Syracuse.
Syracuse was number 8, and that would have given you 6. So that would have given you the win either way.
Marvin Harrison went to Syracuse. Al Davis, Syracuse, not a player, but still a Syracuse alum. The last one, I don't know.
Big Ten.
I've already said Illinois and Ohio State and Michigan. It's not Penn State.
Nope.
Big Ten West or East?
West.
Big Ten West. Nebraska?
Nope.
Iowa? The Golden Gophers?
It is the Minnesota
Wow.
Golden Gophers. They have 7 NFL Hall of Famers.
Name me one of them.
That guy.
Exactly.
You know, that guy from that thing.
Minnesota.
So the list again, Notre Dame and Michigan are tied with 14, tied for the most. Michigan has 11. Ohio State has 10. Pitt has 10. Miami with 9. Syracuse and Alabama with 8. Minnesota with 7. And Illinois 6.
I know we can't call them the Golden Gophers. They've produced a lot of NFL talent.
No,
that has been on the NFL.
No, we can call them the Golden Gophers. You probably can't call them the Golden Gophers since don't you have a kid that committed to be a
Brady
Golden
Palmer's
Gopher?
going to be a Golden Gopher.
There you go.
I told that to his face. I was making sure the Minnesota recruiter was not nearby. He needed to be committed first.
Would you rather? I think that brings up the question again. Would you rather be a Golden Gopher or a Purdoof?
At this point, a Golden Gopher. They have produced multiple Hall of Famers. Tony Dungy went to Minnesota.
Oh, there you go.
Didn't realize that. Tony Dungy went to Minnesota. I don't know who any of these are. Bronco Nagurski I've heard of.
Yeah, has an award named after him.
The 7 Minnesota Golden Gophers in the Hall of Fame. Bobby Bell, Tony Dungy, Carl Eller, Bud Grant, Bronco Nagurski, Leo Nomalini, and Charlie Sanders are the 7 for Minnesota. I remember the Syracuse one because I remember they had like you got Jim Brown and stuff back in the day. I didn't realize that Al Davis went to Syracuse.
Yeah, there's a list on the Hall of Fame website that has everyone listed by team. No, I would not like a Hall of Fame coin. Thank you very much.
There were 3 TCU Horned Frogs to be in the Hall of Fame. Can you name them?
No, I cannot.
I actually do know these. Slinging Sammy Baugh, played for the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
LaDainian Tomlinson, obviously. Bob Lilly. You want to know why I know Bob Lilly? Not because I've done the history on the NFL. Great Cowboy offensive lineman. It's the Bob Lilly indoor practice facility.
Oh, there you go.
Everybody always asks me, like, what is LT named after over there? Like, what do they name that? He's the parking garage. The new parking garage they built is the LaDainian Tomlinson parking garage.
Brother, that seems...
They ran out of it. That's what I thought.
That's a little rude.
LT's got the parking garage. Bob Lilly's got the indoor practice facility. Sammy Bob's got something else, I forget, but I'd much rather be Bob Lilly at that point.
Rename like the.
They built a park. It was the first parking garage on campus. They named after LT. Dumb.
Rename the
Skylar
sports
comes in
science
and
building.
make picks when we come back.
First of all, I want to say I'm sorry.
No, I didn't even apologize.
Fox thing.
What did he do?
No.
I'm gonna put it right in front of me so I don't leave it here.
It's time for today, before we totally forget about this. It's time for today's biggest fan. When we come back from break, we're going to be giving away tickets for Aztecs basketball. But today's biggest fan, Tina Bickle, B-I-C-K-E-L, Bickle. Tina Bickle in San Diego. Give us a call in the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for a grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game with all of the fan staff later this season, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest-fan. Today's biggest fan, Tina Bickle in San Diego. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Before we get to Skyler, we have an update for you on this Ohio saga. This is unbelievable. I mean, let's just get the college football in the offseason this year has been insane. Has it not, Frank?
Yeah, just a little bit, you know.
Just a little crazy. Just a little crazy. So we had the report from Ohio that the Ohio football coach, Brian Smith, had been fired, right, for drinking. But then you look at it from the report from Front Office Sports Today, and in the public, what is that called again? The public, I'm blanking.
Public domain?
No, it's the public records request.
Oh, public record.
In the public records request, they found the verbiage of the letter of dismissal, if you will, or firing of Ohio talking to Brian Smith. And the one that was, you have to say it. Your conduct triggers this clause multiple ways. This includes your participation in extramarital affairs, including one with an undergraduate student to which you have admitted. This brings the very dispute, scandal, and ridicule, or the scandal and ridicule in issue in this section. In addition, you appear to have admitted to the athletic director that you carried on an affair in part on campus at Ohio University Inn, where you were likely to be observed by Ohio constituents such as student athletes' families, donors, and alumni, and where you were indeed witnessed by a football player's parent about your said conduct. Again, it was mostly reports before was he was having a drink with his coaches in the office. This is kind of ridiculous. Everybody's defending Brian Smith. Then this information comes out on the public records request. Brian Smith is now, and his lawyer, have disputed the university's claims. They have said he was already separated from his wife at the time of said relationship. He ended the relationship with a student as soon as he learned she was a student, and the only romantic interest he encountered when it came to team's parents was with a parent that was 41 years old. I don't know how that you list that as like, oh, this is justifiable now. Our bad. Sorry. Didn't realize that.
I got it. This is basically what he's doing. He's giving it to George Costanza, basically.
It is.
Here it is.
Was that wrong? Should I not have done that? I tell you, I got to plead ignorance on this thing, because if anyone had said anything to me at all when I first started here that sort of thing was frowned upon, because I've worked in a lot of offices, and I tell you, people do that all the time.
He did the George Costanza.
He did the George Costanza.
I
was already separated from my wife. So he ended the relationship with the student. I ended the relationship with the student as soon as I found out she was a student. And the relationship with one of the parents' players, she was 41. What's the big deal? This is why this guy got fired. What did we say in the 11 o'clock hour? There's more to this story than you would think. I don't think he's getting fired for having a shot of bourbon in his office after beating Eastern Michigan. I don't think that's why.
Dude, I love people so much.
Oh,
man.
my God. The people in charge of places with big contracts just throwing it away on just stupidity.
That being said, hi, Skyler.
Hey, Skyler.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Got any takes on college football?
I mean, that about does it, I think. That sums up the season well.
Ohio went 8-4 this year. Also, and then somebody's like, "Oh, they also didn't beat Ohio State." You know what? Enough. The internet is insane. College football is insane. College football playoff starts tomorrow, where Skylar at the holiday party for work will be insane trying to watch at the holiday party. Let's get into today's picks with Skylar.
All right. So
how are you going to be watching this game tomorrow?
I know. Well, I don't even know what the watching situation is going to be. I don't know if I need to go down there early and scope it out, make sure there's TVs. Do I bring my laptop so we can set it up in the corner and make sure we have somewhere to watch it?
Trust me, I will find the quiet corner with a TV. So look for me, and I'm sure
you can flag me down.
Yeah, exactly.
You should probably get down there early to scope it out.
I think I might have to. I need to make sure there's somewhere that I can go in peace and watch this game.
I'm pretty sure Bally High's got TVs.
They've got to.
They have to.
Just a quick update on how we're doing with the picks from last week. Oh boy, we're not doing good.
Oh, great.
So Skylar,
they're bowl games. They're crap.
No, I understand that. But Skylar, you won.
You didn't even know who's playing.
Skylar won the Army-Navy game.
Nice.
We both lost. I won with Delaware last night. You both lost.
Yeah.
Why would I ever pick the Blue Hens?
And we all three of us lost the other 3 games.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, we're doing great. Braden's 0 for 5, which is really all that matters.
I thought it was 3 for 6.
No, you're.
Oh, that's the conference championship.
That's after conference championship week. I'm not going to do it until it's all finished.
Still beating you guys, so
yeah, exactly. All right. So first up, Skylar.
Yes.
It's Alabama, Oklahoma. First up, 5 p.m. on ABC and ESPN. Oklahoma's favored by 1.5. This will be in Norman, Oklahoma tomorrow night. Skylar, who do you got?
I mean, there's so much hype around this game. I was out last night in Little Italy, and I'm not even kidding. Every single TV had a different perspective of when they played prior this season, all the experts analyzing it. Somehow, it seems like most of the experts feel like Alabama's going to come out with a road victory, which is kind of shocking to me. I think that they need to seriously change their offensive scheme heading into this game. I hope that they've made some large adjustments from the last time when they played Georgia, but I still got to pick Alabama, even though I'm terrified.
you have to. You can't not pick your school in a playoff game.
Right. And it's what, a 1.5 point spread?
It's a 1.5 point spread, and at the end of this, nobody wins anything.
Yeah.
It's a show about nothing. I'm picking the Sooners at home. I think they beat Alabama. No offense.
Yeah, none taken.
What do I always say? It's hard to beat a team twice.
I've done that multiple times.
I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it's hard. For that reason, I'm going to take Alabama.
It's a lot easier to do it at home.
It is easier to do it at home, but it's still a very difficult task to do. Game 2, these are Saturday, so all three of these games are on Saturday.
I'm rooting for, as Jake Waters put. If Alabama loses, Kalen DeBoer goes to Michigan.
And then they go after Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin immediately posts an elephant on Twitter. And then it's chaos.
And then chaos part,
That's right.
75,
That's
basically.
Right.
It's a chef's kiss.
That's what I'm rooting for.
The 10-2 Miami Hurricanes taking on the 11-1 Texas A&M Aggies. This will be a 9 a.m. start on ABC and ESPN on Saturday. Braden, who do you got here? A&M favored by 3.5.
I think Miami can win this game. I really do. I think the game's close. I'll take Miami plus 3.5. There's a part of me that's like, oh, Miami's gonna get smoked, and then Notre Dame's gonna complain that they should have been in the playoff and all this other stuff. But this is the we both beat Notre Dame bowl. Miami and Texas A&M.
There it is.
I got Miami, although I will be rooting for Marcus Ratcliffe in the secondary for the Aggies. Excited for him.
It's an unofficial name, though, right?
Huh?
Unofficial name.
Unofficial name of the bowl game? Yeah. Yes, of course. But shout out to Marcus Ratcliffe, one of the players that I got to coach at Cathedral. He starts for Texas A&M on the defensive side. Should be a fun game for him. Some San Diego local connections for you in that game.
Skylar?
I think this is going to be a really good game. Really, really close. I honestly think it could go either way. It might be one of the closest games other than the Alabama-Oklahoma. I'm excited for it, but I've really loved, I hate to say it, but I really loved watching Texas A&M's quarterback all season. For some reason, I just kind of feel myself rooting for him, which feels really unnatural, but I got to take Texas A&M.
I'm going to go with Texas A&M as well.
The
11-2 Tulane Mean Green taking on the Ole Miss Rebels, who are 11-1. Be a 12:30 kick on TNT and True TV. Keep in mind that Ole Miss has no idea who's coaching them, no idea who's playing them.
They've had a lot of distractions.
They've had so many distractions, yet they're favored by 17.5 over Tulane. Skylar, have fun.
I mean, I'm so just not looking forward to this game at all. I mean, Ole Miss just absolutely killed Tulane earlier in the season. Obviously, the circumstances are totally different. And like you said, there's so many distractions, but I personally just don't see Tulane like having the strength to be able to go in. I still think Ole Miss is able to go in and cover and basically kill them again. So I got Ole Miss.
I want to say with everything happening right now in college football and saying they don't belong, and with the chaos around Ole Miss, I mean, they're starting quarterbacks like on the fence of it, even if he wants to play in the game, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I think Tulane covers the 17 points. I think they lose by 10. I think it's a valiant effort. I think Ole Miss wins late, maybe. I think the game's closer than people think. I don't think it's a guaranteed blowout. Ole Miss wins. I think they're scared early. Hey, what did we say? What did Frank just say? It's hard to beat a team twice. Yeah. They'd have to do it twice, right? So hard to beat a team twice. They get to try to do it twice at home. I do want to go back and say a couple of names. Grayson Halton of St. Augustine High School does play for Oklahoma. That's a local tie in that game. Reed Schubach of Poway has kicked off in a couple of games for Alabama. In that game, Keontae Scott, I think, has been cleared to play for Miami. He went to Helix. They play Texas A&M. Marcus Radcliffe, as we mentioned, from Cathedral, does play for Texas A&M. He has 60 tackles on the season.
There you go. So that's I'm taking Tulane. That's too big of an insult. It really is. This one seems a little bit bigger, but one that I can buy a little bit more. The 12-1 James Madison Dukes taking on the Oregon Ducks, who are 11-1. This will be a 4:30 kick on TNT and True TV. Oregon favored Braden by 21.
Unlike the other game I just mentioned, I think Tulane can keep the game close. I don't think James Madison can keep the game close. I think it's a great story. I think it's awesome. I am all for Group of 5 schools being invited into the college football playoff, as they should. They're going to get smoked. I don't think it's a great matchup for James Madison. Flying cross country. The good thing is they sold all of their 3,500 tickets within minutes.
Fantastic.
Great for James Madison. They're going to make a ton of money off of this game, but Oregon's going to win by 21 or more.
Skylar?
I totally disagree with your stance. I think this game is such a joke. I think you might as well hand Oregon a spot in the next round because they're just going to get killed. It's like, why have Oklahoma and Alabama play and then you have this type of matchup?
Let me ask you this question. If the Pirates win the wild card in Major League Baseball, but they're not as good as the Mets who didn't make it, should they get bumped for the Mets?
I mean,
they shouldn't. Win your conference. You're in.
Yeah,
it's not their fault.
I don't know. I would rather see stronger teams with not as great of a record personally, because this is just a joke. You know, Oregon's going to just kill them. So I got Oregon.
I'm going to take Oregon as well. I don't
James
think
Madison's going to make $4 million for their conference.
Yeah,
It's great.
I don't think James Madison is as good as Tulane to be able.
They're
to
not
keep
as good
it
as
close.
Tulane. No.
So now we've got the playoff games done. Let's go to some of the other bowl games. The 6-6 Penn State Nittany Lions taking on the 7-5 Clemson Tigers. This will be at 9 a.m. on ABC. Clemson favored by 3.5. Skylar.
Oh, wow. I'm actually really surprised about that. I feel like Clemson has just been rocky these last few years. I'm definitely going to go Penn State.
I don't even know who's playing for Penn State right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Penn State just because my buddies will give me crap if I don't take them. But I don't even know who's playing for them.
I'm taking Penn State as well. So all three
That
of
is a
us
game
there.
at the beginning of the season that you're like, oh, they're gonna play in the postseason. It's in the college football playoff, right?
Nope.
It's in the college football playoff, right?
Sure, buddy.
No, it's not.
The 9-3 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets taking on the 11-2 BYU Cougars. Cougars favored by 4.5. This will be a 12:30 kick on ABC. Braden.
I like BYU in this game. I think BYU is upset that they got left out of the college football playoff. It didn't sound like they have too many opt-outs. I mean, the opt-out game is the difficult part about this thing. I thought Georgia Tech had a good year, but I think most of their success has been off of the fact that they beat Clemson early on, and we realized that Clemson was not as good as a lot of people thought. They gave Georgia a run for a little bit, but I got BYU in this game. Isaiah Jada of Helix is starting at left tackle for BYU. That is the San Diego connection in this game.
Skylar?
Yeah, I think BYU just has a little bit stronger of a resume, so I got to take BYU too. But I think this is going to be a really good one. It could be a close one.
I think this is going to be one of those games that you squeak around here and get a result you don't think. I'm taking Georgia Tech. 11-2, North Texas Mean Green taking on the 9-3 Aztecs of San Diego State. This will be on the 27th of December, a 2:45 kick on ESPN. Skylar, North Texas favored by 3.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really tough game for the Aztecs, but I'm going to go with the home team, and I think that they can do it.
This is going to be a tough game for the Aztecs. Demetrius Sumler is the acting defensive coordinator. It's kind of an interview process for him to potentially be the DC next year for San Diego State. He is a Uni alum. He is a Don, rolling with the Dons, rolling with the Aztecs. I'll take the Aztecs slowing down North Texas, even though North Texas quarterback could be a frog next year. So I'm going to be locked in to see how he does.
I'm sorry. I can't. I have to take North Texas here. North Texas, I think it's just too good. I'm sorry.
Boo this man.
Yeah.
This guy's anti-San Diego. Boo this man.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo. I'm sorry.
Shame.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Boo.
The 9-3 USC Trojans taking on the 8-4 TCU Horny Toads.
Frogs.
6 p.m. kick on ESPN. 3.5-point favorites are USC. Skylar, your pick.
A lot of opt-outs for the Trojans.
On the Trojans, I was gonna say on both sides or just on that. This is a hard one. That could be a really good game, a really close game. I think I'm just gonna go with my gut. I'm leaning USC, but I really think it could go either way. But I'm gonna go with the Trojans.
Defensive end Jared Martin of Central Union, redshirting at TCU, part of the San Diego connection. Nick DeFina of Torrey Pines is a redshirt linebacker at USC in the local connection of this. I'm taking the Frogs. They have had not a lot of opt-outs. Most of their guys are going to play in this game. I think it matters that they're playing in the state of Texas, and they're done pretty well in the Alamo Bowl. Last 2 trips there, they beat Stanford, and then, of course, to remind all Oregon Duck fans, remember the Alamo, when Oregon was up 31-0 and then blew it and lost in triple overtime. TCU has had some good success in the Alamo Bowl, so I'm taking the Frogs.
I will take TCU as well. 9-3 Michigan taking on 9-3 Texas. This will be a 12 p.m. kick on ABC.
This is a college football playoff game, right?
Close.
This is a college football playoff game, right?
Texas favored by 7.5 here, Braden.
I'm taking the Longhorns. Michigan's kind of a mess right now.
I agree. I think there's so many distractions going on with Michigan, and I know Sark really was pleading his case for a spot in the playoffs. It just didn't happen, but I think they do have a really strong team, so I got to go with the Longhorns too.
Yeah, I'm taking Texas here. Final game is the Holiday Bowl. 9-3 Arizona taking on 8-4 SMU. 5 p.m. kick on Fox. Skylar, you have the first pick here.
Disclaimer: Wilbur the Wildcat is in our chat.
Yes.
So he's supposed to sway me one way or the other.
The mascot of Arizona is paying attention to what you pick right now.
That's terrible because I was leaning towards going against. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to go SMU here and apologize. I'm sorry.
Well, SMU doesn't have a skillet to play with, so.
Oh.
And as growing up as an Arizona fan, I got to go with Wilbur the Wildcat. Rex Haynes, the son of Mike Haynes, who went to Cathedral Catholic. Rex Haynes did. Member of the Arizona Wildcats. That's the local connection. Tyler Prashun out of Carlsbad is kicked in a game for Arizona as well. So a couple of San Diego players for Arizona. As for SMU, running back Will Fierro out of Bishops is a redshirt at SMU. in this game. Local connection. I'm taking the Arizona Wildcats, bear down, U of A.
Wilbur, you yelled at me last time I didn't take Arizona.
You did. And you know what? And Arizona won. Maybe you should pick against them.
It proved to be wrong. So I'm going with the Wildcats. I will take Wilbur's Wildcats, Arizona.
Love it.
In the Holiday Bowl.
I love it. Arizona, bear down. John Maffey did a great job of listing all of the San Diego kids that are competing in the college football playoff and in the bowl games. In the alumni report, there are 77 San Diego players that are taking part in bowl games, which is really remarkable. We got a lot of guys all over the place, including obviously San Diego State. So try to get as many of those out there as possible. We didn't pick the second round of the college football playoff. Obviously, we're not going to be here for the next 2 weeks. Roger Robinson II, Lincoln running back, is playing at Georgia. He has played in 9 games. He scored, I think, in the SEC championship game, if I'm not mistaken. To mention another one that's playing in the college football playoff. Handful of San Diegans playing for Utah in their game. Again, if you want to check that out, go to SanDiegoTribune.com for all 77 San Diegans that are playing in bowl games and in the college football playoff. It's pretty cool to see. 77. That's a pretty good number for us here in town. So that is our picks. Well, let's know how we did in January when everything's pretty much done, except for the national championship game. So we'll have to have a national championship version with Skylar to start the new year. But Skylar, thanks for all the help during the college football season. It's flown by.
I know. I'm so sad. It's almost over.
We appreciate you coming in, and we will see you at the holiday party tomorrow.
Yeah. In the corner watching the Alabama game.
Watching the Alabama game. Well, anybody wearing crimson can root for both teams, I guess, since they both have the same colors.
True.
Crimson and cream, Oklahoma and Alabama. So we'll get you updates on how Skylar's doing at the holiday party tomorrow.
Should we do like live?
Broadcast live. I don't know. I don't know if you can cuss on those, and you might be watching the team play. So we'll see. Thanks again, Skylar. Appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more of the college football, get you updated on anything that's going on in baseball. Eddie Brown will join us at 1:35 as we wrap up second to last show of the season in 2025 here on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. Super late on that. Let's get to a couple of things that we have to take care of. One of them is, speaking of all guests on 97 through the Fan, they join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future. When charged with a crime since 2010, visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Are you going to say something?
No, I mean, I didn't have to, but
Always hear the mic swing. Still another boo for Frank picking North Texas. Public enemy number one. You know what? Based on this track record, go Aztecs. It probably guarantees a Aztec victory.
Listen, man, it's been a long day, and it's just gotten a little bit longer already. I mean, we talked about it in chat a little bit before the show started. I have a friend who works in local news in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and he kind of told us what was going on this morning. But apparently there was a plane crash in Statesville, North Carolina, at the Statesville Regional Airport. And it was reported that it was former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle's plane. Now that plane is available for charter, so there was no guarantee that he was on the plane. But we're seeing it now. ESPN, TMZ, People Magazine. There's a bunch of outlets reporting it now. And North Carolina State Police have said that it looks as though Greg Biffle was on the plane, and him, his wife, his son, at least they said 7 total. But it kind of knew it was coming over the last couple of hours, and it's starting to become official. I think there's going to be another press release in a half hour from the government about it, the federal investigation on it. But yeah, the news is starting to come out that Greg Biffle has passed away at the age of 55 in a plane crash.
And a terrible tragedy, obviously. We were waiting to get like updates and official reports, and that's something that we're not going to break news-wise on this show. But we saw it circling around as the show was going on, and in a very tough news for the NASCAR community.
Yeah. Craftsman Truck Series champion in 2000, Busch Series champion at that time in 2002, 19 Cup wins, raced at the Daytona 500 last year in the number 44 as a one-off. His last win, I believe it was his last win, came in the Truck Series in 2019. He had not raced in a truck in 15 years, did a one-off race at Texas and just waxed the field, like not even close. But yeah, we've been following it. I've been following it all morning, and now it's starting to look like North Carolina Highway Patrol and TMZ and ESPN are starting to run with it that he's gone. So it's been a long morning waiting for stuff, and this is the result we had a feeling was coming.
Yeah, that's tough news, obviously. And there's a couple other things like in the news world that we were kind of waiting to get to and stuff like that. But that was one of the other big ones, and it's obviously a big loss for the NASCAR community, and obviously a lot of prayers to the families and that are affected by this tragedy over in
not just Greg's family too. There were seven lost in that. From what the flight looks like, it looked like they took off, had a problem shortly after takeoff, tried to come back and crashed on landing. So don't know what happened, but yeah, it looks like they knew they had a problem, tried to come back, and it went wrong.
So obviously very devastating news. Other just news entities as we kind of transition back to baseball a little bit. We didn't get to it a lot today. We're going to probably get to it tomorrow. Mason Miller has committed to pitch for Team USA at the World Baseball Classic. And Team USA has added a lot of big arms today to their roster. Tarek Skubal has committed today to be on Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. They already had Paul Skeens on the roster as well. I mean, 2 big aces for Team USA on the World Baseball Classic roster. David Bednar, former Padres farmhand, has committed to the World Baseball Classic again for Team USA, and they just added Logan Webb to the staff about 17 minutes ago. So Team USA looking pretty good in the pitching department, which is usually where a lot of teams lack when it comes to rosters. There's a lot of the arms. Joe Ryan committed to Team USA. Clay Holmes committed to Team USA. Nolan McLean, New York Mets farmhand, is committed to Team USA. And so the pitching staff is starting to come together for Team USA for the World Baseball Classic, which we will always obviously be covering when it happens in the new year. Do you want to get back to your phone calls before you get Eddie Brown on? 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get to Ron in La Mesa. The K-State Wildcat wants to join the show. What's going on, Ron?
Gentlemen, happy holidays, and just want to get my last shot of the year into you guys. Frank, it sounds like you may have known this guy. My heart goes out to you. I can't give you a lump of coal for putting the Aztecs down on there, but hope you're okay. Football-wise, K-State's not in, but Colin Klein is going to be coaching on the sideline for Texas A&M as the OC, and what a great little PR snap for him. So for once in a while, I'm going to actually have to root for Texas A&M. Baseball real quick. Not real happy that we're going to Mexico City for Atlanta or Arizona games. A, I lose the game, home game, and B, just make sure Joe Musgrove doesn't run on the field barefooted. That's all I care about, guys. Happy holidays. You guys did a great job this year. Happy to be on, and hope you have a great holidays, gentlemen. Take care.
We appreciate that, Ron. Thank you very
Ron.
much. Our resident K-State Wildcat, my Big 12 brethren on that one. When we come back, we're going to talk with Eddie Brown, get your fantasy lineup set. There's a big game tonight that you can hear on 97 through the Fan, Rams and Seahawks. It's playoff time in fantasy football. Eddie Brown's got you covered. Last-minute roster moves, last-minute pickups if you need them for the fantasy playoffs to finish up the show on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. Final segment of the day of the Braden Surprenant Show. Live and locally each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. I want to mention this hour is brought to you by the California Office of Traffic Safety. In 2023, 1,355 people were killed in alcohol-related crashes throughout California. Driving under the influence of anything is dangerous, illegal, and has serious consequences. Don't be the I in DUI. Go safely, California. Joining us now on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Since 2010, visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Joining us now on said hotline for the final time of 2025 to get you ready for fantasy football is our fantasy football insider who writes for the San Diego Union Tribune, also covers the NFL draft, Eddie Brown. And Eddie Brown, a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year to you and your family. Thanks again for coming on.
Awesome, Braden. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you guys, too.
Let's get set here for fantasy football playoffs. First of all, before we dive into some of these things, how are you doing? Are you still alive in most playoffs? Are you out on most? Where are we at with Eddie Brown's teams?
In my one roto league, I'm still in contention for first. I think I'm in third right now, and we still have 3 weeks total. We go all the way to week 18. And in my 4 head-to-head leagues, I am still alive in one of them. The other ones, I'm in consolation.
Well, you know what? At least you got some action still alive as we're getting down to the final push here. I'm playing Chris Ello this week in the semifinals of the work league, so that's where I'm at in that one. My other head-to-head consolation, I won my bowl game last week, pretty sound in the consolation bracket, and then in the roto again. As you mentioned, a couple more weeks to go. Let's dive into some of the things that you highlighted in your Week 16 deal. You wrote about Kevin O'Connell finally simplifying the offense for J.J. McCarthy. Numbers back it up. For fantasy managers who just lost Patrick Mahomes, is J.J. McCarthy a legit playoff starter or more of a desperation stream this week?
Well, I think if you had Mahomes, then yes, he's a definite starter. His next 2 matchups are golden. He has the Giants this week, and he has the Lions next week. Those are 2 of the bottom 5 teams in the league at preventing fantasy points to quarterbacks. He's looked pretty solid the last couple of weeks as far as what KOC's asked him to do. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do. I mean, the kid's mechanics is all over the place, but that's indicative of somebody who hasn't really played a lot or been asked to do a lot, as he wasn't really asked to carry the load at Michigan. But he's getting better, and he has the weapons. At some point, you got to believe Justin Jefferson is going to pop off. So I think he's a bona fide starter going the rest of the way. If you're in a desperate situation, if you had Mahomes, if you're dealing with injuries.
Blake Corum's been kind of on the rise for the Los Angeles Rams. They play tonight against Seattle. He's a running back 4 in standard format since week 13, as you mentioned in your latest article, but Kyron Williams is still the guy. Is Corum matchup proof at this point, or does his value disappear if the Rams ever tilt back towards Kyron?
Yeah, I don't think he's matchup proof. Obviously, McVay has he's kept his promise of trying to get Corum involved, and he wanted this to be more of a 65-35 split to Kyron and not, a 95-5 split, which it was previously. I think tonight is a tough matchup. I think he's touchdown dependent going up against the defense. I think has allowed the 6th fewest fantasy points to running back. So it's kind of hard to run him out tonight. I think he plays from ahead. When the Rams are ahead and have control of the game, that's when you see Corum get a lot of touches, and he gets in there and he gets a chance to kind of put his explosiveness on display, which is something I think he has above Kyron. Kyron's more of the good receiver out of the backfield, can block and get the yards that are in front of him. But Corum's the guy who can really kind of hit the explosives for the Rams.
We're talking with Eddie Brown, who has been a writer for the San Diego Union Tribune since 2008, and between 2019 and 2023 was rated the most accurate draft prognosticator by The Huddle Report. You can follow him at UT Eddie Brown on social media, especially if you're very interested in the NFL draft and a lot of NFL draft coverage. We spend most of the time with his fantasy football work as we continue to get your lineup set this weekend for fantasy football playoffs. Eddie, let's talk about the Packers wide receiver logjam. You told fantasy managers not to worry about Green Bay's wide receiver traffic jam with Jaden Reed. What separates Jaden Reed from the rest of that group, and is he someone you trust in the fantasy semifinals?
Yes, I think what separates him is LaFleur usually schemes up specific opportunities just for him. The other guys kind of fit into the offense, with the exception of Christian Watson, who's kind of their deep threat. Watson seems like he's going to play this week. I was really excited about Reed at the beginning of the week, thinking Watson might be out because of a chest injury. But it's looking like Watson might play. Regardless, like I said, you don't have to worry about Reed when it comes to that. He's the guy that they try to set up on one-on-one opportunities, and they try to utilize him in the backfield. They do a lot of different things with him. So I like him. If Watson for some reason doesn't play, I actually like Matthew Golden a lot this week as well. He had 55 yards against the Broncos, which is a really difficult defense for receivers. I think he has flex appeal if Watson's out.
Let's talk about Darren Waller. He had a nice little night the other night on Monday Night Football. He has quietly finished as a top 5 tight end 3 times in 6 full games, and now he gets Cincinnati. Is Waller the best upside tight end play left on the waiver wire for the playoffs?
Yes. I mean, when he's on the field, that's the risk. It's when he's on the field and healthy, he's one of the best tight ends in the NFL still, I think. All the metrics indicate that. The Bengals, you can't get a better matchup. And actually, the fact that they're coming off a game against the Ravens where they actually contained their tight ends, which is surprising. I don't know if that was because of them or because of something the Ravens were doing. Makes me think that they're even more susceptible to get to have Waller produce this week. So I really like Waller this week, and the fact that he's available in pretty much 60-70% of fantasy leagues right now is a big deal.
We're talking with Eddie Brown, getting your fantasy football lineup set for the fantasy football playoffs. A lot of rounds in the semifinals. You might be just starting the playoffs with 3 weeks to go. If you're in Roto and you're still battling for the top, lots to get to still. Trevor Lawrence has been quarterback 2 since week 5, just torched the Jets for 6 total touchdowns. How is he still under rostered, and is he now a must start even in tough matchups?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just everybody spent so long hyping him up and saying, you know what, eventually Lawrence is going to be the guy. He's capable of being a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He was the number 1 overall pick. And then it just kind of never really happened. That the fact that it's happening now, that he's starting to get Cohen's offense and everything's kind of starting to come together in Jacksonville, I think people are a little apprehensive. So that maybe that's why he's still available in probably half the leagues. I mean, it's hard to sit him. I mean, it's a difficult matchup this week against the Broncos, but I don't expect him to go out and get 6 touchdowns, but he's been good for a very long time. They're figuring it out. They're getting it done. So I trust the fact, I trust the large sample size, that, you would have to have a pretty decent option outside of Lawrence to bench him this week.
In terms of overall strategy now for starting your lineups, this is for like full season fantasy. You're in the postseason and you have, this is a time where a lot of people outthink themselves on what they should do because it's win or go home in fantasy football in the head-to-head matchups. How do you advise starting your lineup this week? Is it matchup based? Is it your gut? Is it, well, this is what got me here, I got to play the top players? Because you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you start questioning who you should start, who you shouldn't. How does Eddie Brown start his lineups for postseason play without giving away secrets to maybe your competition here?
Right. I've always been in favor of trusting your studs. So the guys that got you here and the guys that you drafted high, if they performed like you anticipated, I mean, obviously you're still in the playoffs, so they must have given you something. I think sometimes you can overdo it trying to do matchup based. You can overdo it with streaming. That being said, if there's a defense, like if you don't have, it's wherever you're weakest. If you don't have a great defense on your roster, then streaming makes sense. Go out, find a defense that has a really great matchup this week. If you're same thing with tight end, same thing. But here's the thing: we just talked about Lawrence, right? It's hard to be like, okay, well, I have Trevor Lawrence, but his matchup's really terrible this week, so let me go out and try to find somebody on the waiver wire just because they have a great matchup this week. Like maybe Aaron Rodgers, right? Well, Rodgers has a great matchup against the Lions, but he's on the road and it's the Steelers, so you really never know what they're going to do offensively. I would still stick with Lawrence. So, to me, it's kind of dance with who you brought. And if there's a great matchup available, like I said, if I'm streaming tight ends and Darren Waller's out there, then you can stream. But to me, I'm not going overboard in the playoffs.
Last thing for you, we've talked about tonight's game a lot today. We talked about it with Eric Williams. We've talked about it, just the last couple of days. This might be one of the best games in the NFL, and the one with riding the most in the last 3 weeks of the season. It's for the number 1 seed in the NFC. It's for the division in the NFC West. I know I don't give you this too many times, but anybody that wants to get some action on some daily fantasy, who do you like today in Rams and Seahawks?
Yeah, I think there's a big opening actually with Devontae Adams' potential. I think he's doubtful. I don't think he's going to play. He hurt his hamstring.
Eric Williams said on our show he's probably not going to play.
Okay, so with him out, I think that kind of opens up something in the Rams offense. Obviously, you have Nakua, he's going to get targeted. You have Parkinson, who's really stepped up over the last month and a half. But I think this really gives an opportunity for Terrence Ferguson, another tight end in that offense, big play rookie out of Oregon. I think they're going to have to utilize him in some of those 12 formations that they use a lot, 13 formations that they use a lot. And I think he's flashed, over the last couple of months that he can make a big play. I think Parkinson has Stafford's trust in the red zone, but I think the 20-20, going from 20-20 with the Seahawks focus on Nakua, I think Ferguson's somebody who can make some plays in the middle of the field.
Eddie, appreciate the time. I appreciate you coming on each and every Thursday and Friday. Again, big thank you all around. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and a happy new year to you and your family. And look forward to talking to you in 2026.
Yeah, Brady, I appreciate it. Merry Christmas, happy new year. You guys take care.
Eddie Brown joining us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline, gets us focused on fantasy football. We'll talk a little NFL draft with him in the new year. Maybe we'll do some daily fantasy stuff with him during the playoffs. That's always fun to get some action in that particular part of the time of the year when you got just a couple of games and fantasy football is over and you can redraft your own teams every single time. Should be fun. So always great talking with Eddie. We have a fun show tomorrow, Frank. Final show of the year.
Yeah, we do. We've got a couple of big guests coming on. I believe we have the commissioner of the West Coast Conference coming on tomorrow.
Yeah, Stu Jack joining us.
Yeah, we've got a lot of just fun, ridiculous stuff. We're gonna have a very laid back show tomorrow.
We're still be good though.
We're still gonna do our best. We're still gonna
got the whip around.
We'll
try to preview San Diego State, Arizona. We'll recap what happened tonight in the football game tonight. That's going to be coming on your airwaves here on 97 through the Fan. Seahawks and Rams tonight. Foul Out Friday on the last Friday of the year. Hey, possible.
It's going to be a legit Foul Out Friday tomorrow.
And some of you guys will be at the holiday extravaganza with Ben and Woods live audience tomorrow. Should be a fun time. They always have a couple of big guests up their sleeve.
My first time not doing it since being.
You bringing cheesecake tomorrow still?
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
He's
JR.
one foul down.
I'm sorry, JR.
Gwen and Chris coming up next.